is 360 footage of this execution, brother.
Where's the malice? Where does he say? Do you know what malice means legally?
We all watched the video. You don't have to bullshit your audience. I called you a Nazi because inherently it's easier to just fucking say that on the internet.
You are a Nazi, you aren't a Nazi, you are a Nazi, you aren't a Nazi. Just put the fries in the bag, bro. Just what's the difference between being a patriot and a nationalist?
Actually, I don't know the exact definition difference.
Why do you believe that we should prioritize general happiness?
Is that actually a question I need to answer?
Yes, that's how ethics works. Yes.
Again, this is not for me to find out.
Because it's impossible. I feel like we're
Your
bouncing. Like,
Dude, that's fucking ridiculous, bro. That's such a stupid point. You literally just disproved your entire fucking argument right there.
You're right. Clearly, I debunked myself. You know, giving some backstory on how this went down, some exclusive scoop. You know, I saw the initial post Keaton made. I thought it was funny. I commented, and then he made like a lot of posts. Whenever I asked to do the debate, he had made 2 posts about me. I couldn't make the main debate time that we had agreed on, and I literally see like 400 notifications, like 1,000 notifications from this guy. I was like, this guy may be crazy. And so I kind of like ghosted him. I was like, this is weird. This is like really weird. So then like I saw Keaton making these videos like saying like Jackson, and the one video where I was like, okay, I really want to debate this guy. He had like the spinning circle like JacksonHeab, you will debate me. And I'm like, okay, this guy's actually funny. I'll debate him. So I like the guy. Actually, I like his videos. I didn't initially, but now I do. I've come around to him. It's like you know, like enemies to lovers maybe.
How's it going, everyone? I'm Keaton. I'm a Reels creator. Kind of doing this shit for fun, and I like sharing my takes online. That's pretty much it.
I think the initial video, so there's a lot of things we can talk about, right? Obviously, I'm a generally conservative content creator for people who are watching who don't know who I am. I'm JacksonHeab. I initially got started talking about, I guess, like, you know, like the rise in political violence. Then I moved to making Instagram Reels that are about general, basic conservative topics. But no, so I'm a Reels creator also. I make political content. I'm a campus debater. I'm generally can be described as a conservative. I'm not a full Trump guy. I'm not a full radical anti-Trump guy. I'm somewhere in the middle. I think a lot of the things that he says are too far right. I think a lot of things that he says are too far left. I think generally Trump is a somewhat less ideological person than I'd like to see. And I think he says a lot of things that I really strongly disagree with. So that's, I guess, my position on the current administration. But for me, at least, I think, yeah, I guess I can let you lead because obviously, you know, a lot of the goal for the debate has been, you know, from you and your fan base. So, you know, I've published a lot of opinions online. I guess there's a specific topic you want to go into additionally?
Yeah, man. The first one I wanted to go over, kind of challenge you on, is you made a video responding to another creator where you claimed that the National Socialist German Workers' Party, the Nazis, were socialist. And I wanted to challenge you on that because I think that is 100% entirely wrong.
Gotcha. So giving some context for the full video, there is a level of implication. So the full video of the context, I don't draw the direct comparison. So I say that 2 out of 3 of the most violent genocides in world history are leftist. 3 out of 3 if you consider the National Socialists to be socialist. So I guess my main topic with the National Socialists to be socialist example is this is a sort of a topic of academic debate. The general consensus leans to them being right-wing, but it is a disputed topic of whether or not they are left-wing. I know there are many historians who do consider them left-wing because, you know, they did believe in owning the means of production. A lot of Hitler's criticisms were capitalist or were capitalist. Yeah, well, it makes them socialist, I guess. You know, owning the means of production would make them socialist.
Right. Yeah, go on.
So I would consider that to be the basic definition of socialism. So if you talk about leftism, like they are economically considered to be leftist, but a lot of the the left-right spectrum doesn't really account for authoritarianism, things like you know, ethnic nationalism, which obviously are considered more colloquially right-wing. So that's where the sort of dispute over left and right is, because left and right to me isn't really a good encapsulating definition for an ideology.
Yeah, man. So we can make this like super easy. Basically, do you know the core values, or at least maybe not the values, but the things that the Nazis did?
Yeah, I have a general idea. Yeah.
So, I'm gonna try and deconstruct this in a way where I wanna try and see how you're correlating this to socialism, because I really don't see it. The Nazis kept private ownership of companies. They crushed labor unions and replaced them with state-controlled fronts. They murdered and imprisoned socialists, communists, and trade unionists. they obsessed over a racial hierarchy, which was not really great. It wasn't fucking fantastic.
Nope.
That shit was terrifying. Extreme nationalism. This is the key one. Okay, and then they ran a corporate state alliance, private industry plus authoritarian government plus militarism. I don't really understand how that's socialist at all.
Gotcha. So whenever I talk about socialism, I mean, like, I guess socialism is obviously a very wide variety of of like or it has a lot of different definitions you can run with. But one of the most popular
really.
ones is simply owning the means of production. I mean, well, it's a wide ideology. It's sort of like Nazism, where like it's hard to define Nazism in a single sentence. We can agree, right? It's a pretty
Not really.
wide-ranging. You would say it's easy to find a single sentence?
I mean, it's really not that hard to describe. They wanted to literally create a 1,000-year Reich to control the entire fucking planet and have Aryans essentially be the only race that exists on the planet. They wanted to completely take over Europe and the entire modern world. It's not super complicated to understand or to conceptualize what the Nazis were and the things that they believed in. But for some reason, the right likes to cloud fog that a lot, and it's just really not complicated, nor should it be a partisan argument.
Well,
right?
no, I don't see it as like what I mean when I say it's hard to define. I mean like when I say socialism is hard to define or Nazism is hard to define, obviously there are principles that they have. But for example, like wanting to create this large, racial hierarchy, which obviously I disagree with, that could be defined as like imperialism or as like just authoritarianism, totalitarianism, like aspirations for a one world government. So to me, even that definition wouldn't be like a really concise way to describe a Nazi. Because like, what makes a Nazi unique as opposed to like a imperialist, nationalist, like authoritarian regime is a lot more than just the like weird ethnic characteristics. Because a good example is talking about what made a National Socialist different from socialists. We talk about the idea of like murdering socialists. Like this is very true, but a lot of the reasons why Hitler murdered socialists wasn't because he was a radical capitalist. He criticized capitalism and he criticized socialism both a lot. But the guise of his criticisms for socialism and capitalism were both under the level that they were like a, I don't know what words I can say on Twitch. I know there's a little bit more censorship, but they were of the, you can say Jewish, right? He believed that these were like Jewish ideologies. So his criticism of socialism was often what he would call like Judeo-Bolshevism. So the argument is that Hitler saw that socialism was fundamentally good on some levels, but was perverted by what he saw to be the influence of like a lesser race, which obviously I see as evil, but to me it means that I wouldn't necessarily say that he wasn't socialist just because he murdered socialists. I think he saw that socialism has been perverted.
I mean, that was just, I'm sorry, that was just not true. Yes, Hitler did use anti-capitalist rhetoric, but that was a means of attracting workers during the economic collapse of Weimar Germany. That's why he put the name, the word socialist in the Nazi name. It was literally just name and propaganda. He was trying to get working force people that were literally in like fucking economical shit, just complete terrible economical shit after World War I, and manipulated them into thinking that he had this way out to make Germany this great country again. And that just wasn't the fact. It wasn't the reality at all. It's genuinely not complicated. It was propaganda in name. There is not a single value that the Nazis had that was socialist in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, well, they believed in controlling the means of production at a level. They believed in eventually removing private property post-war. There's a lot of documents talking about that.
So that's not socialist principles. Core socialist principles are worker ownership and means of production, but not in the fucking way the Nazis were doing it. They also believe in economic equality, class solidarity, internationalism, and opposition to private capital and dominance. It's not what the Nazis were doing at all. The Nazis were trying to completely control everything in the country to bring it back to their group. They were literally trying. It is so unbelievably nowhere near socialism in any way, shape, or form. It's like it's literally just propaganda, and it's 80-year-old propaganda. I don't know how you can still even try and have that point.
Well, so you don't believe that there were socialist principles that were backing their economics, and it was just purely a marketing ploy?
I genuinely think it was purely propaganda, and it clearly worked.
I mean, he most definitely wasn't like a strict Marxist, like following like the core tenets of socialism that we see adopted everywhere. But he was definitely an economic moderate to leftist. I mean, can we agree on this? The state control of the economy and like the sort of top-down control. A lot of that was for the war machine. But eventually, they did want it to be a sort of owned by the government, like state control of the means of production, right?
Yeah, no, I think we should. If you want to look at that, I think you need to zoom out a little bit and see what was going on at that time, right? What just happened? World War I just ended. You know, so it's through the entire 1920s, Germany is in complete economical collapse. I mean, they are in debt to fucking France and the UK, I believe, and so that all gets reflected onto their citizens, right? And so socialism sparks up and becomes this extremely popular ideology, this extremely popular political system, because it essentially provides a standard of living for people that are being economically shit on. And so you have a charismatic guy like Hitler come in and use the term socialism in a way that is not relevant at all. And you have him be very charismatic about how he's going to return Germany to its former greatness, and how he's going to bring the country back to what it was, and even better than it was before World War I. You're going to bring in a lot of people that just don't know what they're talking about. You're going to bring in a lot of people that just want better lives, and then they start falling for this propaganda mind virus, which we see with a lot of authoritarian dictatorships. And it's all the other bullshit. It's the 10% truth and 90% bullshit, where you reel them in and then you fucking destroy their brains.
Definitely. I mean, we can surely agree with the negative prescriptions, but I think that based on some of the writings that I've seen, and obviously, from what I understand, I think you said you're a history major, so maybe your knowledge is more wide based on this. But just from internal writings that I've seen a lot of writings talking about eventually removing private property rights. This is generally a socialist trait, regardless of being a full adherent to socialist ideology. I actually don't think Hitler was too much of an ideologue himself. I think Hitler was very much a kind of a transient person who bounced from belief to belief. I know at one point he was even a Communist Party member, and then of course he moved away from it to being more capitalist, and then of course he kind of adopted some of the values back, so it's hard to really trace down exactly where he was. But I'm sure you can understand.
He wanted power.
Oh, definitely. I don't think he was an ideologue at all.
Anyway. No, I think he's very similar to authoritarians, and I'm gonna make the comparison like Donald Trump. He doesn't really care about the belief system. He wants to use that as an avenue in any way, shape, or form to get the power that he's looking for.
I mean, well, I agree with Hitler. I don't necessarily agree with Donald Trump. I mean, although I think Donald Trump is very much a populist candidate, so he definitely does adopt a lot of the positions of the people around him. But I think it's a little bit of an intense comparison. I don't know. I don't directly see Trump as an authoritarian candidate. What'd you say?
All of Trump's rhetoric is populism. It's all just reactionary bullshit.
Yeah, he's very much a populist candidate.
None of it is
His rhetoric is populist, yeah.
Huh?
His rhetoric is very much populist. He's a populist candidate.
Yeah, but that's not like diplomacy. That's just like political reactionary rhetoric and bullshit. Like, it's not like actual, like this is not how you do democracy. You don't go up on stage and start talking about shooting protesters in the knees. Like, that's fucking insane.
Yeah, I've disagreed with a lot of Trump's rhetoric lately, actually. I've been a pretty big... Oh, the timer is for the debate. I forgot to start it. But I've disagreed with a lot of Trump's rhetoric personally, although I don't see him as a totalitarian. I see him as someone who's just made a couple of big mistakes. His admin's made a couple of big mistakes. But I don't necessarily think he's a true authoritarian.
What are those mistakes?
A lot of mistakes. I think that the classification of, Alex Pretti and Renee Good as domestic terrorists is obviously inflammatory and obviously not backed by the evidence that we've seen. I think assuming that, almost all of these protests are paid is definitely hyperbolic, definitely not evidenced. And I think a lot of the rhetoric has been escalatory. I definitely agree with that. I'm not a diehard Trump supporter in any way, but I generally think
what about
that...
the cover-up of E. Jean Carroll's rape?
I don't know the full story behind that.
Have you ever looked into that? I mean, he was literally convicted by a judge that he appointed before he got elected for 2024.
Oh, do you mean the civil liability?
Brother, he her forcible penetration.
Yeah, he was found civilly liable for something, which is definitely troubling. And although that's not a criminal conviction,
what do you mean
so
troubling? That's
the standard for civil conviction and criminal conviction is very different. So if you're found civilly liable, that's like a strong. that's a strong evidence that you probably did something bad, but it's not proof. So I don't like to make blanket assertions unless there's a criminal conviction.
Okay, interesting. I'm gonna pin that point. I have a feeling we'll come back to that later when it comes
Gotcha.
to deportations. But yeah, that's an interesting take. What do you think about the Epstein Files? All the shit that dropped yesterday.
I think it's very troubling. I looked at the Epstein Files, and I'm still working my way through the new releases, but I think generally politics is a very messy game. I think that a lot of people are doing a lot of really bad stuff. I find it all disturbing. I find it really freaky that it's covered up. I find it interesting that Jeffrey Epstein was sending Five Nights at Freddy's to people. But
Yeah.
no, the whole thing is terrifying. The fact that there's been a conspiracy to cover it up is terrifying. And I think generally our entire government from bottom to top has been engaged with this sort of like this bearing of this dark secret. I find it really disturbing on both sides.
Yeah, does it bother you as like a conservative that and don't get me wrong, there are many Democrats wrapped up in this. I'm not a Democrat, so it doesn't really apply to me. But does it bother you as a conservative that like literally almost all conservative politicians are wrapped up in the cover up of this shit?
It bothers me a
And
lot.
I
Yeah, very much bothers me. I find it really disturbing that at all levels our politicians have been baked in with these weird groups. And I think it's really disturbing. I think it's a negative indicator. And I think it's a good
you
demonstration
think
of
that says
why.
anything about conservative values?
I think it says something about just politicians in general. I mean, how many Democratic politicians are in there too? It's very common. I think that conservative values aren't really indicated because people like Thomas Massey, obviously are strongly against it. And I don't even think it's a good indictment of leftist values because people like AOC aren't implicated from what I understand. People like Bernie aren't implicated. So I don't see it as a left or right issue. It's just an issue of, someone did something very disgusting and no one has been held accountable except for one individual, Ghislaine Maxwell, who may not even fully be held accountable. So to me, it's nonpartisan. It's just repulsive
It's
on both sides.
I guess if I like, I used to be a conservative when I was younger. I wouldn't officially classify as a conservative, but I was raised in that, and so I had those general beliefs. But isn't it like troubling to you that more than the left, the right seems to be, I mean obviously is way more susceptible, like way more susceptible to falling for this bullshit or sycophantically hiding behind a mascot that they can puppet around to kind of do their bidding. That's literally a by the way. I mean, not to make this comparison again, but the right tried the exact same thing in Nazi Germany. They tried getting behind Hitler, thinking that they could control him. They were wrong. They were very, very wrong. I think it's kind of worrisome that we see this, not pattern in history, but rhyme in history, where this same sort of thing kind of keeps happening over and over again with the right, almost like they're susceptible to this kind of shit.
See, I see it as susceptible on both sides. I mean, time and time again, we see the rise of like an intense desired leader. I mean, look at FDR, right? Like FDR is a leftist. FDR had like an unbelievable sycophantic following. FDR did a lot of things that weren't ethical, a lot of things that could be considered today as corruption, and yet everyone followed FDR into the woods. People wanted him to be a lifetime running president. So I see it as, while I understand that currently it's troubling, and I do find the sycophantic obsession to be really disturbing, and I've spoken out against it, I really don't see it as an indictment of conservative values or leftist values. Instead, I see it as a value of an indicator of like blind tribalism. People are very tribal. People have just started to endlessly follow their partisans into the abyss. And I think it's important that as a conservative and as a leftist, you can say, this candidate did something wrong here. Because I'm comfortable saying it with Trump. And I think that, same way, some leftists are comfortable saying it with their candidates. But I see it as a less of a partisan issue. I really do. I think it's a problem with just general human behavior and human weakness.
Does it bother you that the person that you, and I know you didn't vote in 2024, but does it bother you that the candidate that you are staying behind is I mean, like, come on, like we've seen the files, we've seen the leaks. There's no other reason why he'd be hiding this. Like, it doesn't in any way make you want to go, yeah, maybe I won't support this person because this is probably one of the most evil things you can do to another human being's sovereignty. That doesn't like fire in your brain at all.
I mean, I can say definitely the association is troubling. I don't see it that he's been proven to be. I really don't see that. I think we have to say like a
Really?
P3DO on Twitch or whatever. But no, I don't see this as proven. I think it's troubling. I think it's disturbing, and I think he's liable for contributing to the cover up. That's a liability. But there could be other explanations, and I'm not even saying they're likely, but there could be. I try to be very careful with lumping someone in with something that I don't know for a fact they're associated with. Because, for example, it could be a thing wherein he's covering up constituents, or he's trying to cover up for his party. Either way, these things are unethical.
Are you?
But
Brother, I'm gonna give you like I'm gonna give you one more chance to do that because there's no way that you're gonna stand on that hill. Covering up for constituents. That, brother, he's literally all over the files. We know this. I don't know if you saw any of the leaks yesterday. His name is everywhere.
oh, I agree.
Like,
He
there's
probably,
no,
yeah, he probably. I can say like you can look at the files, you can look at the evidence and say that there was a likely association that is negative, right? I mean that's something that you can do, but I couldn't say that he is like a. He's definitely not proven to be
really
a creep yet. Although the evidence is looking great. There's more and more.
A human being that has literally made claims in the past about how he wishes that he could marry his daughter, but he can't because it's his daughter, and a human being that has literally been convicted for raping a woman and has multiple rape allegations
Civilly.
against them. Okay. None of that like fires at all that, hey, maybe this guy's not a good person and is probably doing this shit behind the scenes. None of that like fires off in your brain.
To be frank, I think there's a lot of evidence that a lot of politicians are doing that stuff, and I really don't like it. Like I'm not a big fan. I can say that definitely.
I asked about Trump, not Paul. That's a deflection. I asked about Trump, not other politicians.
No, you're talking about a choice. It's not a deflection because you're talking about a choice between A candidate, B candidate. If you're saying that this is an indictment of A candidate, but it applies to B candidate also.
Does it bother you? I said, does it bother you that Donald Trump is a pedophile? And then you said, well, we can look at other politicians.
Does it bother me? Wait, hold on. So you're talking about support, right? So I'm not a blind Trump supporter, but you're talking about how I chose Trump over the opposition candidate in 2024, right? That's the comparison, right?
No. I know you didn't vote in 2024,
Yeah,
so I'm asking. This is the candidate you're staying behind.
No, I'm not. I'm not staying behind. Yeah, I'm not supporting Donald Trump unequivocally. Not at all.
Well,
I have a lot of very
your
strong.
Entire party is.
I'm not a member. I'm not a partisan. I'm a ideological conservative. I have a lot of disagreements with Trump. I have regularly criticized Trump. Whenever the Epstein Files were initially released with the redactions, I even posted, "They think you're stupid. This is absurd." I can say I very much criticized him. I very much disagree with him. And actually, I can say like it is concerning that there's a cover-up. It is bothering me that there's a cover-up. It will affect the way that I vote in 2028. But I can say for me at least, I'm not a blind partisan. I'm not a blind supporter. If Trump was my big like sky daddy, if I had the Trump Bible and Trump was my hero, it would definitely negatively affect me. But for me, I'm only picking like who is more likely to carry my values. This candidate. I don't love either personally, but this candidate seems to be more focused on conservative values. That's all that I'm voting from.
So that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if they're a pedophile. Sorry, I can't say that on Twitch. It doesn't matter if they're a PDF file. It's just if they have conservative values. It's all about like you and what you want, not the rest of the country or the thousands of kids that were brutally assaulted and have
Well, it
their
depends.
sovereignty
If he's
stripped
like
from
if he's a proven, convicted, on-camera supervillain, obviously that does affect it very strongly,
How much
right?
proof do you need, Jackson?
A criminal conviction to charge someone with a criminal offense. It's pretty simple.
Brother,
I need either a conviction.
They won't even release the files after the Supreme Court literally passed a bill forcing them to release the files.
That's an indictment. That's an indictment of the commission. That's not an indictment of the individual.
It's what makes you think they're going to be cooperative with the law when it comes to literally the ending of their careers?
We have
They're
judicial
not gonna do
separation.
shit.
The judiciary branch is actually pretty substantially separated. We're not tied up. Even all the allegations of Trump's like authoritarian takeover, there's no proven allegations of him meddling with the judiciary branch in any substantial way, other than calling for impeachments of judges, which is the natural check and balance.
Yeah, for sure. What would make you stop supporting Donald Trump?
I don't support Donald Trump currently.
You don't support Donald Trump, and your entire audience knows that?
Yeah, I posted the other day talking about how, conservatives who are blindly defending.
Going forwards, you are not in support of Donald Trump, period, whatsoever.
No, it depends. I can support something he does. I can support something that Hillary Clinton does. I think Bill Clinton was all over the files too. If Bill Clinton did something awesome, I'd support that individual action. But I'm not like a blind,
that's a difference. That's interesting.
You don't think you can't support something that someone bad does that's good?
No, I can't.
If Jeffrey Epstein opened up like a puppy adoption shelter, you would be like, that's evil.
Brother, he would be doing so with the money that he made off of sex trafficking children.
We'll say he didn't.
No, I would not support that.
Well, okay, this
What do you mean? Let's say he didn't. He was the biggest trafficker.
Okay, whatever. It's a bad example. Say someone did something bad who made no money off of it, opened a puppy adoption. This is obfuscation. Opened like a charity. Would you not support the charity? I don't love Bill Gates, but I don't criticize the Bill and Melinda Foundation.
brother.
I'm saying I
Bill
can
Gates
support
is all in the
someone
files.
bad. Yeah, I know. I think he's probably a bad guy, but I can say that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is good. A bad guy can
All right,
do a good thing, and I
swap
can
it
support
around.
the
Let's
good
swap it
thing,
around.
right?
What if Hitler opened up a charity? Would you support it?
So it was good that he opened up a charity. Yeah.
Oh, yo.
I don't support
You know
Hitler
what?
for it, but I
I
support the charity.
respect-
How
I
is this?
respect the,
How is this mental logical leap? I can support anyone bad doing something that is good because it's an indictment of the action, not the individual, right? Do I like it?
So that person's actions and accountability and motives has no context in the bearing of their actions, like at all. Like you wouldn't consider
Intentions
the context
matter.
of,
No, intentions matter.
Why is this trafficker opening up a daycare? Why is this trafficker opening up a charity?
Well, that's different because that's an indictment of what he's going to do with it. But like intentions matter. But saying someone did something bad doesn't affect it. Actually, it sways negatively on their future intentions. But it's not a proven indicator that all of their future intentions will be bad, right? Like, can you not handle that? Like, if Osama bin Laden donated $1 million to charity, would you say Osama bin Laden is evil for donating $1 million to charity? This is just logic. You can support someone bad doing something good. You can support the action.
That's a complete logical.
How is that a
fallacy.
false syllogism? That's a direct comparison.
Because I asked you what Donald Trump could do that would make you stop supporting him.
And I said I don't. I'm not an unequivocal supporter.
You
I'm
said
not a
you don't
partisan
support him.
behind him. Yeah, I disagree with him as an individual. I think as an individual, intentions are questionable. I think there's a lot of things he's done that I disagree with. I don't know his intention. I can't read his mind. But I can say if I was from a sky's view saying, what do I think about this guy? I have a lot of disagreements, right? But I'm saying I can support actions. It's pretty simple. Like I can say, like, even under Biden, like I don't like Joe Biden, right? But I don't know if you know this about me. I've spoken in articles about this. I supported Biden's approach to trying to subsidize like local businesses. I'm from West Virginia initially, and I know that that's really good for local economies in small deindustrializing states. In the same way that I think that Biden probably wasn't a good president for our country, probably did a lot of bad stuff that I would consider really evil, I can still say I support that action. That's how politics works. You can't indict every single individual for being a bad character and then say that you hate every action that they make, right?
In your opinion, what are things that Biden did that were evil?
I think opening the border wide up, allowing for unfettered mass illegal immigration.
Just wide open.
Yeah, I mean, how many came over?
Just grabbed the gates and whipped it open. Come on, everyone, come in.
There was an app.
go.
There was an app where you could register for refugee status with no evidence. Yeah, that's wide open, right? 20 million? Is 20 million wide open or no?
That was a symptom. That was a symptom of the global pandemic.
No,
that
it
was
wasn't.
going
It
on.
wasn't. During COVID, actually, border crossing slowed significantly.
Did they?
They did significantly. Yeah, that's whenever the border was closed by Trump.
Yeah, I think
He was able to pass an order
really?
because of that. Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, that was I forget the referendum, but that was the legal border crossing closing. So it stopped all encounters from allowing for crossing. Whenever people get over, they don't like sneak past the guards most of the time. It's an encounter.
What about that bill he stopped right before getting in office?
The bipartisan border bill.
Yeah.
Well, I can say if we see a replacement bill for that, then it was a reasonable action. If we don't, then it was a negative action. I've stood.
Did we get a replacement bill?
We haven't so far. It's the first half.
Yeah,
It's the first year.
And his main thing has been immigration and border policy, and we haven't seen a replacement bill. Instead, we've just been invading innocent people's houses and ripping parents away from their kids, and killing American citizens. Where's this bill?
Okay, let's slow down. We're having a lot of stuff's getting thrown out right now. So where is the bipartisan border bill? I don't know. It's not here yet, but I will criticize, or not bipartisan. And where is the new border bill? It's not here yet. We obviously have a full congressional control. So if I don't see one, I will openly criticize that. You're welcome to watch me. So I agree.
Oh, yeah.
If we denied the BB, I guess
Why aren't you criticizing it now?
I am. I said the other day on stream that if we don't get a border bill, which we haven't seen proposed yet, that's a big negative.
Big negative. And it doesn't concern to you that we're over a year in now and we haven't seen a border bill? Not one?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I've spoken about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It bothers me.
So
I disagree with it. Yeah. I think we should be seeing more movement towards it. But I'm not familiar with the processes they're going through. Like, I don't think either of us are intimately familiar with how much time this would take to draft, so I don't know for sure. But I can say that I'm currently concerned with it if it doesn't happen by the time
Well, I
the
know that they
administration is
had one
winding down.
drafted and they shot it down.
Well,
so I
why
think
do you
that's-
think that he
that's
shot down the
completely
bipartisan
irrelevant.
border bill?
To get elected because it was his biggest policy. It was his biggest driving for voting, brother.
To keep it as a
there was so
campaign
much
issue?
To keep it as exactly.
Okay.
I mean, dude, there was
I
so
see the
there
argument.
was so much.
I disagree with that
propaganda
for a
around the
number of
issue.
reasons. So, and that
Why is
could be. I can't read his mind, okay? But here's what I see from just looking at the outside, right? Okay. So the Republican argument. Do
It would be
you
really depressing to read his mind. I feel like.
Could be, I don't know. But the conservative counterargument for this is that the intentions with the bipartisan border bill, because it set a minimum of accepted border crossings before a shutdown would happen, it would allow for it to be accepted to have some number of border crossings. Once you set a legislative like precedent, right, it obviously causes that to be like a maintained precedent. So the idea is, if we are about to get in office, which we at the time had a lot of evidence that we were, and then once we get into office, we can get a bill that sets a really solid, harsh precedent. That's better because it means that we won't be trapped in the old precedent. That's the conservative argument. I don't know. I can't read his mind. But I can say that if he owns up to that, we actually have a really good way of seeing it through, which is if he puts up a better written border bill. So that's actually the perfect way to discern whether or not he did, I guess, truly have that intention. So both of us will be proven right or wrong, right?
About 9 to 10 months out from the midterms right now.
Yeah.
I don't think that border bill's happening anytime soon. I also don't really think he's going to be that favorable in the midterms. So you guys, you kind of got a ticking time clock here.
Well, incumbents almost always lose the midterms, right?
You said what?
Incumbent candidates, or actually the sitting candidate, almost always loses the midterm, their party, right?
Especially when they're PDF files. Could you imagine? Could you imagine him winning that? I mean, that would be kind of crazy, right?
I mean, you think he won the election, though, right? Still, despite
do I think that he won the election? Are you asking if I think that there was election fraud?
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm saying that if under your worldview that wouldn't affect it, right? But either way, so that's not match. Yeah. But no. So what I'm saying is that's a non sequitur. It's a complete non sequitur. So it's ridiculous. But no, the midterms probably will go bad. They're looking to be going bad because there's been a sort of an organized protest in Minnesota attempting to impede law enforcement, waiting time and time again,
organized?
seeing how,
What do you mean organized? Like you're not saying they're paid.
Signalgate.
Right?
Have you seen Signalgate? I'm not saying they're paid, but they're organized. That's
Signalgate.
Cam Higby infiltrated the Signal group chat, uncovered that they're all in one secular group chat, reporting locations of ICE trucks, locations to do the protests. Going outside ICE facilities for a deliberate reason. It's strategized. It's organized. I'm not saying it's paid, but it's organized.
Jackson, do you actually believe this? Like
it's proven.
Honestly,
it's proven. It's proven. The Signal group chat's proven. I do believe it. It's a fact.
Aside from that, Jackson,
yeah.
even if that was true, that's what event organizers have to do.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you mean? Like,
I agree.
When
did I say that organized is descriptive of the event? How is that? What's wrong about that statement? It's descriptive of the protest. It is organized. I said it was an organized protest.
But you're saying it in a way that's vilifying them for doing that. What exactly are they doing wrong by doing that? I'm confused.
I mean, they're exercising civil liberty, right? But either way, what I'm talking about with the negative effects of the organization is there's an attempt to go outside of federal buildings, right? So ICE agents are not trained to deal with riot control, right? We can agree on this.
Yeah, we can agree on that. They're not trained to do much, actually. I don't even think they're trained to shoot guns.
Gotcha. I agree the training's not high enough. That's been something I'm advocating for increases on. But so yeah, ICE agents.
Really.
What'd you say?
I think it's non-existent, really, and that's apparent after someone gets executed and shot from behind like 5 times.
Well, let's talk about why that happened. That's what I'm talking about now. So Alex Pretti, I also believe that the shooting was probably very egregious, definitely not fully within the bounds of the law. So if you watch, although we don't know everything, I'm not making an accusation. An execution? Have you seen the full video? Do you think he went in saying, I'm going to kill this guy randomly, or do you think it escalated?
Hey, when you shoot someone from behind, when you shoot someone from the back, what is that called?
It's not called an execution.
When they're being held down on the ground.
He wasn't held down on the ground. In the video, so let's talk about the video. Execution is your term for it. In the video, the guy is reaching around.
That's what it was.
They're yelling gun. He hears a gunshot, which he believes is a discharge from his gun. And then he reacts in a way that I think was probably incorrect because he should have noticed that he got disarmed. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure if there was a misfire, but is that an execution or is that overreaction and incorrect reaction?
Alex Pretti was helping 2 women across the street.
That's irrelevant.
By an ICE officer. That woman gets pushed down on the ground. Multiple ICE officers come over and grab him while his hand is in the air, start throwing him on the ground, pistol whipping him, kicking him, and while they're holding him down after they've removed his gun from his holster,
the argument for
he had no access to, they shoot him from behind multiple times.
I mean, have you seen my posts on it? I've argued that it was egregious and they probably should have known that he got disarmed.
Yeah, brother,
but the argument, I know you've seen all my videos, you react to all of them. The argument is that he didn't know he was disarmed, he heard a bang and reacted in a way that I think was a far overreaction that shouldn't have been done. I agree with you that it was egregious, but I think the word execution is overly vilifying. Do you believe his intention was, I see this guy, I'm going to go walk up and shoot him point blank, or do you think he overreacted? What's more likely? He walked over saying, I'm going to kill this guy, or he overreacted in an incorrect way?
I think he walked over and wanted to kill that guy.
Why didn't he just
Brother, I don't think you understand what's actually going on right now. What bang was there in the video? He said gun because he grabbed the gun. He was telling them that he had secured the gun.
Someone yells gun. Someone yells gun. Does yelling gun, is that code for I secured the gun? Or is that something that will indicate there is a gun?
They all watched him do it.
No. If you watch, have you seen the eye analysis? The argument is the guy didn't shoot.
He got murdered, but also he didn't get murdered. It was a shooting.
No, I think he probably got killed in what was an overly egregious shooting where it was a dark gray shoot. So it's like something that was probably not murder with malice, but probably was an incorrect reaction.
What's your issue with my term execution?
Because execution implies malice.
Sir, how was there no malice? He shot the dude from behind after he was dead multiple times.
Because he probably thought it was justified. How do you determine malice? Where do you discern malice? Okay, so you're the lawyer here. Where do you discern malice? It's an execution. It's not like a you can say misfire. You can say bad shoot. Where's the malice? You look at it. You say, I can read his mind. I know he's evil. He wants to kill them. He's evil. Maybe, just maybe, it was a bad shoot. Where's the malice?
Bad shoot.
Yeah, it was a bad shoot. Yeah. Well, the argument is there was a misfire prior. There was a misfire prior.
You don't shoot someone 5 times while all of your boys are piled on top of them. That's how you get your teammates killed. Like, maybe you've never.
They weren't piled on top of him. Have you seen the video where they piled on top of him, or were they just like surrounding him?
Hey,
I actually think they should have tackled him. Would have made more sense. But
would you shoot a gun towards a group of people?
What? No. Why would I do that?
Would you shoot a gun? Right. So why the hell would he shoot the gun at Alex Pretti while all of his other ICE agents are holding the dude on the ground? That is not.
They weren't holding the dude on the ground. He was reaching around, he heard a gun, he heard a shot, and probably thought there was a gun. I think he shouldn't have shot because there was no indicator.
Do you mind pulling up the video and showing the shot that he heard?
You can hear a lot audible bang prior to the string of shots.
Right. Where's that?
Like 5 or so seconds. Right before he pulls his gun out of the holster. It's like the trigger for that.
Pull up your stream.
I don't have a system to where I can share my screen, but regardless, I actually agree that it was not a perfect shoot. This is so semantic. We're arguing over the word execution. You don't know the malice. You can't read his brain. You don't know his intention. There's no way for you to know that. Stupid.
So you think that judges are just not able to determine malice?
Yeah, they are, but not you because you don't have the evidence. You don't have the evidence. Yeah, they would argue.
You don't need evidence. There is 360 footage of this execution, brother.
Where is the malice? Where does he say? Do you know what malice means legally? In the footage you can see, he doesn't say, I hate this guy, I want to kill him. Like, what's the definition of malice? Like, what does malice mean? Do you know?
Oh my god, dude, this is the most insane hill to die.
Well, no, it's just ridiculous. I don't even want to have this is ridiculous. What does malice mean? Do you know what malice means?
Yeah, bro, explain it to me. What does malice mean? Give me the legal term.
Malice is a willing desire to kill, like hatred, motivation, like a desire erroneous of in the moment, it's like a real I want to kill this guy, right?
So when you pull a gun on a helpless man that doesn't actually have a firearm on them because they were disarmed and shoot them multiple times after they're already dead, there's no malice in that at all.
Yeah, if you're a cop who doesn't know that, there's probably not malice.
I thought I came here to debate.
If you're a cop who doesn't know that, this is just joke. How do you don't know there's malice? You can't read his brain. If you have a source that will tell me
that is not
the legal criteria for there is. The legal criteria for malice is not that a cop made a mistake. That's the argument I'm making, is that a cop made a mistake.
He's not a
you're
cop.
making the argument. Oh, sorry, he's border patrol. Actually, not even ICE. But the argument that you're making is that border patrol. Actually, no. Border patrol is law enforcement. By the way, border patrol has the ability to make arrests and enforce law.
They're not allowed to arrest American citizens or even touch them. Brother.
Border patrol is allowed to arrest people and enforce the law. Border patrol is fully allowed to arrest people and enforce the law. Yeah, they're federal law enforcement sworn in. Yep.
Really? Do you mind showing me where you found that?
That's a fact. Just look it up, bro. I don't have time to. I can't pull up my sources for you. Border Patrol is federally sworn in law enforcement.
That's completely inaccurate.
Do you know how debates work? You don't Google shit, okay? No, it's federally
Look
Okay,
it
they're
up on
federal.
stream.
Let's see. Is Border Patrol federally sworn? No, I'm not googling on stream. We're having a debate. Okay, so we can fact
Because you know
check
you're
it. You
wrong.
can put it on post.
It's
Is
embarrassing,
Border
brother.
Patrol
That's the craziest
federally
claim
sworn in
ever.
law enforcement? Yeah, they are. No, they're federally sworn in law enforcement. That's how this works. Yeah.
They're not. No, they're not. They're not the police. They're not allowed to touch American citizens. They're not allowed to detain American citizens. They aren't allowed to do anything with American citizens because guess what? They are Border Patrol. They are to deal with illegal immigrants and Border Patrol problems. It's not that fucking complicated, brother. It's not that complicated. It's really not. It's really not hard.
Hold on. Yes, Border Patrol agents are sworn in federal law enforcement. Boom! You lose. They are federally sworn in. Google, I don't know, bro. Do you want me to send you an article? What's it gonna take, man?
Google,
They're federally sworn in law enforcement. Okay, let's see.
Trust me, bro.
Our Border Patrol. Okay, United States Border Patrol. Wikipedia. The United States Border Patrol, USBP, is a federal law enforcement agency. Whoa! Okay. Are they sworn in law enforcement? Yeah, Border Patrol is a uniform brand of law enforcement. They are federally sworn in law enforcement, bro. Okay, I don't know why we're sticking on this. I don't know why we're crashing out. They're federally sworn in law enforcement. Can we move on, please?
No, because you're wrong.
Okay.
That literally stated nothing about how they can detain American citizens.
If they're federally sworn in law enforcement, they're allowed to enforce federal law. Okay.
Let's see. I'll do this. No, ICE does not have the jurisdiction to arrest U.S. citizens for immigration violations.
They're not. It's not
If you are
ICE.
being
It's not ICE. It's
detained-
Border Patrol.
Brother. Did those guys have ICE badges on their vest or not? Or am I just blind?
It's Border
Am I
Patrol. They
tripping?
didn't have ICE badges on their chest.
So did they not have ICE? Are we not protesting ICE right now? Are you really gonna say that Border
Well, yeah, it was Border Patrol. This is a
and
fact.
ICE
Border Patrol can detain and arrest U.S. citizens. This is true. This is true. Look it up. Just you're wrong. I'm not gonna beat you up about it. You can admit you're wrong. Border Patrol can arrest U.S. citizens. Yes, they can. Brother, this is crazy. It's a fact. It's a literal fact. It's a fact. Border Patrol can arrest U.S. citizens. Why are you tweaking? It's a fact. Border Patrol is federal
ICE
law
agents.
enforcement.
ICE agents cannot detain U.S. citizens. End of story. That's actually just not fucking true.
They aren't ICE. It was Border Patrol. Look this up. Look up. This is like, look up. Was Alex Pretti shot by Border Patrol or law enforcement?
So is this
It was
your-
shot by Border
is
Patrol.
because-
Is Border Patrol federal law enforcement? Yes, they are. Can Border
go with that.
Patrol
Let's go with
arrest and detain U.S. citizens? Yes, they are. Next
Alex,
point. Let's move on. You're
Alex
wrong.
Jackson, let's go with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go with that.
Yes.
Let's say it was Border Patrol.
Yes.
Do they have the right to shoot and kill an American citizen?
Yeah. If it's legally justified. Yeah.
That's insane. That's fucking
Yeah, it's how
insane.
law enforcement
that
works.
is the most
That's crazy.
unhinged
Can
thing.
law enforcement shoot somebody
Oh, yeah,
if they're
that's how
legally?
law
Law
enforcement
enforcement
works. They
can't
can
shoot
just shoot
somebody.
people. They can just
What?
run around
Yeah,
and
if it's
shoot people.
justified. Yeah, there's cases where any cop can shoot someone.
Was
Are
it
you?
justified?
In this case,
it
no. No, in
justified?
this case, no.
No, Jackson, it wasn't. Look,
Oh,
you just
we're
answered
shifting
your
the
own question.
topic. We're
Wow,
shifting the topic.
congratulations.
New topic. Yeah, new debate topic.
Not really.
The
I've been
prompt
on
was,
Alex
can
Pretti
they
this
arrest
entire
somebody?
time. You're
Yes,
the
they
only one trying
can.
to change the subject
Oh,
'cause
you're
losing
changing the
this point.
predicate. You're not. I'm not losing. You're changing the predicate. You know you are. I can watch it back and I can show you. How did this start? This started with, no, Border Patrol can't arrest somebody. It's illegal. Oh wait, it's wrong. Well, can they shoot somebody illegally? I win.
ICE
No,
cannot
you don't.
detain U.S. citizens.
I'm
ICE
not talking about
cannot
ICE. Are we
detain
talking about
US
ICE?
citizens.
Who's talking about ICE, by the way? Who's talking about ICE?
Let's remember this entire conversation.
Wait.
started
Who's
because
talking about ICE?
I,
I'm
I said
curious.
that
Yeah.
I said that ICE does not have the right to
Okay.
execute an American citizen.
Yeah, well, you're
And we
wrong. It's
agree
Border
on this.
Patrol. The
But
execution you're talking about is
Your
Pretti.
entire
No,
your
no,
entire
no,
contention
no,
is you're
no,
trying to
no,
debate
no,
me
no.
on the fact that these guys are Border Patrol.
Yeah, because
What the
literally
fuck
I
is
said,
irrelevant?
can we move on? You said no. Look it up. I looked it up and found out you're wrong. Are the cogs not connecting in your brain right now? Is this not mathing? You brought up this topic. You made us
ICE
sit
does
here,
not have
and then I
the
was able to prove that you were
jurisdiction to
wrong.
arrest
We're not
US citizens
talking
for
about
immigration
ICE, or is your
violations.
mind melting? We're talking
Hey,
about Border Patrol.
Who's in Minneapolis right now? Who's in Minneapolis?
Border
right now?
Patrol and ICE.
And who is Border Patrol?
Border Patrol. They've been deployed there. Do you watch the news, bro? This is we're debating Alex
who's
Pretti.
Border
You don't even
Patrol?
know who shot him. Do you not know what's happening
Who
right
is
now?
Border Patrol? Who is Border Patrol? What is a branch of Border Patrol?
Border
The
Patrol.
ICE.
Yeah, they still have legal
The
jurisdiction to arrest citizens. Yeah,
ICE.
that isn't.
Do you think that they have immunity?
What are you talking
Do they have
about?
legal immunity?
Wait, what are you trying to say?
Because Vice President J.D. Vance said that they have
Yeah.
legal immunity.
Okay, we're changing the topic because you lost the first point. I'll change the topic. You have to
No,
admit you're changing the
no,
topic.
this is going to add to the
no,
point.
no,
I'm just
no,
curious.
it's relevant.
I'm trying to
It's
see where you're at
relevant.
here.
Okay, yeah.
trying to see where you're at here.
Do they have legal
Do you
immunity?
think
No,
that
they
they
obviously don't have
deserve
legal immunity. That's not how that
immunity?
works. No, that's not how that works. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you debating J.D. Vance? I'm right here. Okay, I'm right here. So yeah, so moving on. Yeah, obviously they can't arrest legal citizens.
Okay.
Just clearing this up.
Moving on.
But yeah. So let me see here. Okay, yep, gotcha. Okay, so moving on here. So we're talking about Alex Pretti. Yes, I think the shooting was unjustified legally. It's definitely gray. It definitely needs to be investigated. I'd be open to seeing if there's malice, but unlike you, I can't like read his mind and say like he clearly had malice. I can see it in his brain. Because, you know, obviously that's not determined by the video. There's no parts that would indicate malice at all. It would indicate a scared agent reacting incorrectly is what it indicates, actually. So,
Right. Scared
yeah.
agent. What was he scared of exactly?
Probably him having a gun. Someone yelled gun, he heard a gunshot. That probably would be my guess.
And he saw the dude that.
What's
had
your
the gun
take? What's your take?
and saw that he didn't have the gun on him.
He didn't see that. That's the argument.
What's my take? You heard my take. It was an execution.
So,
and we
so
should be
his take is
we should be
people are
murdering
beating it
American
up. He
citizens.
runs in and shoots the guy because he wants to. He doesn't think that it's a like legally
I
justified
mean,
thing.
we all watched the video. You don't have to bullshit your audience.
I'm not. I watched the
it's-
video too. It's obvious.
they-
The guy
they
doesn't demonstrate
literally
malice.
pulled
It
him down to the
demonstrates an
ground and
incorrect
shot him
shoot.
from behind after taking his gun.
He's not even on the ground when he's shot
There's no
behind. He's
debate.
like on his
You
like.
can't sit here and say that you're
Okay.
that you're not in support of this,
I'm
and
not.
then also try and debate me on this.
I'm not. I'm just
It
not
was an
stupid who thinks it
execution.
was malice. I don't. I think it was probably an incorrect
This
reaction,
is
but I'm
the
not an idiot who
craziest
can claim
position to
malice.
stand on, brother. Like,
No,
this
it's
is
just-
the type of position
I
that's
said I
gonna
disagree,
prevent
and you tried to
getting
rock down the
jobs in
road.
future. This is
Oh, okay,
crazy.
buddy. Well, so moving back on. Okay, so I disagree with the initial shooting. I think it was probably an incorrect reaction. 10 shots is malicious, Jackson.
It was probably an incorrect reaction. Hear
Yeah,
that, guys?
I think it was,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
How
Probably
do you,
though, right?
How do you
not
know?
not definitively.
How do you know?
It was How do I know? Oh, I do have eyes. I did watch the video. The multiple
You
angles
do
of the
understand you're
video.
committing defamation, right? If he's found like non-liable
Really? Under what clause?
under
How am I committing defamation? Are they gonna? Is the
because
Trump
you're
administration gonna come
knowingly
after me?
demonstrating possible harm to someone, like accusing them of murder. When
I?
you know that you're not fully capable of being informed on that, that's illegal.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Listen, okay, I think I can say probably, but I don't know. Like I'm not interested in defaming a federal agent, so I say probably whenever I think
I am.
something's true.
Oh, I'm very interested.
You
in
are?
that. What
Okay, I can see that.
When you
You're a
murder
bright
an American
guy.
citizen,
Yeah, murder.
When you're a murder, when
There's
you
definitely
murder an American
malice. Yeah,
citizen,
we
you
know
should
it was
be
murder.
prosecuted.
We know it was murder for a fact. No, we don't. You're making a gross
For sure.
over exaggeration of
You're
your
right. We just
information.
don't. You're right. You're right. No one saw the video. We actually don't know it was murder. You're completely right. We don't know the intentions of the guy. I mean, he could have just
Yeah, we
could have just
don't.
shot him in the back 5 times and been like, he's gonna survive. We're actually gonna go get drinks after this. It's totally
Does
fine.
that
There's
mean-
totally no
does that indicate
malicious intent behind
malice?
shooting someone in the back 5 times after they're already fucking dead, overkilling them, legally overkilling
If
them.
you're a cop and you
there's-
think
there's
it's
no malicious
justified, that
intent
means there's no
behind that.
malice. I don't know what you're. If you think it's justified to do it, that doesn't demonstrate malice.
This is your point. This is your point. This is your point.
You brought this up and I disagreed with you. This is how debate works.
This
Yeah, I
is,
believe
this.
this.
Is
This
your
is me.
actual
This
opinion.
is your point. I believe this. Yeah, I demonstrated. If you can prove to me that there's malice, you can't because that's stupid.
Oh my fucking god.
Okay, so we'll move
Yeah,
on.
because that's how I need to prove this situation is wrong. I need to prove that there's legal malice.
I didn't say
Aren't
it
you a
wasn't
Christian?
wrong. I think it was wrong. Yeah, but you have to prove it's malice to say it's an
You
execution.
think
or
it?
murder.
You think it was wrong, Jackson? You can just say
Yeah.
it was wrong.
I don't
can just say it
know.
was
I don't
wrong.
know.
It was
I
wrong.
don't know.
What do
I
you
don't
mean
know
you
what he
don't
saw.
know? You're a
I
grown-ass
don't.
adult. The
What do
video
you
is
mean?
right
You don't
there.
have the evidence. We don't know what went off. We don't know what he saw from
saw
his
the video.
angle. We don't.
saw the video.
The video doesn't show all
saw the
angles.
video.
The video's grainy. The video doesn't show
Video
if the gun
literally shows
misfires.
360
There's debates.
angles. There's a video from the guy in the car. There's a video from the pink lady
Yeah.
recording right behind, and there's a video from across the street in the restaurant. There is literally
Yeah.
every single angle of that event. You cannot say that there is not enough evidence to prove that there is malice, brother. He fucking executed him.
Do you know what?
There is no
do you,
debate
okay,
about
do
that.
you know what legally? Do you know what legally would exonerate him from malice? Like, do you know like the situation?
What would legally exonerate him from malice?
If there was a misfire that he didn't see, he didn't know that the gun was loaded off of him, which is claimed by some of the footage, but I think the interpretation is different, so it's disputed. Like, do you not understand that's disputed?
So pulling out a gun and aiming at someone that's on the ground being held down by 5 other people could have been a misfire. Is that your point?
No. Do you know the scenario at all? Do you know the argument for the misfire? Like, do you know what people are claiming happened?
Brother, I don't need to hear an
What are
argument.
people
I saw a
claiming?
video of
What
a
are
US
people-
citizen
what are
getting
people
executed.
claiming? What
There's
are people
There's
claim-
no argument. There's literally no argument.
What are people
This is
claim? Okay,
insane.
what are people claiming was shown in the alternate angle where you can see the gun at the guy's side, the disarmed gun? Do you know what they're claiming?
Huh?
What are people claiming happened? So people are claiming that the predicate of the shooting was that the SIG that was disarmed misfired in the other officer's hand. They're claiming that the guy didn't know that it was disarmed. They yelled gun, and then there was a gunshot, which means that the agent reacted rashly, thinking that the guy had reached for the gun and started shooting. That's the argument.
Why would they yell gun if he didn't unarm his weapon?
Do you know how? What? Because they thought he had a gun? When you yell gun, is that code for I took his gun? They yelled disarm.
Knew he had a gun. They saw
no.
The entire time.
No, it wasn't open.
It was literally on his waistline. His shirt was tucked in, brother. How can you not see the gun?
Someone yelled gun.
Bulge on his
Okay,
waistband.
wait.
They knew he had a gun the entire time. That's why they took it from him.
Let's slow down.
What are you talking about?
Let's slow down. In a law enforcement scenario, you're wrestling someone, they have a gun, I yell gun, what could gun mean? Do you think gun means more likely I disarm them or they're pulling the gun out? Like if you had to guess.
Because gun means pull my gun out and shoot the dude.
Wait, no. That's not what I'm asking. No. If you had to guess, you're in a law enforcement situation. You're a cop. Let's play cop. You're a cop. Okay, they're disarming a guy. Right so you know he has a gun. Probably. He probably knew. Right. That'd be irrational for him not to have known. And then he's disarmed. You don't see him get disarmed. And someone yells, gun. Do you think it's more likely that that's code for I disarmed the guy with a gun or the guy is reaching for the gun?
You're right. I forgot in this scenario, I'm a completely blind man, and I didn't see the dude in the gray jacket straight in front of me pulling the gun. No, shut the fuck up. Pulling the gun out of the holster and literally running away, and then pulling my gun out and shooting the dude straight in front of me.
You understand that's the predicate of the shooting, right?
This is the stupidest argument.
The predicate's that he probably didn't see it. That's like the argument where it's like maybe it wasn't like malicious.
Right, that it was right in front of his eyes. He saw the dude take out the gun from the holster.
What does gun mean? Though someone yells gun and you hear a gunshot. What does that mean? Generally, does that mean that the gun has been taken away and someone just is shooting in victory? Or does that mean that, like, maybe the guy thought that someone pulled a gun out and shot? Like the guy who's on the ground, you know?
Yeah, because the guy on the ground that has both of his hands on the ground was able to pull
They weren't on the
gun
ground.
out
He was reaching in random directions.
and being pepper sprayed.
Yeah.
That's exactly how that went, Jackson.
Yeah, you think there's malice. You determine the malice. You know, gun clearly is code. I'm a cop.
I watched a video
I'm a cop.
of another human being execute.
Yeah,
because when the Nazis were executing the Jews in Auschwitz,
this isn't Nazis executing. This is a cop making a mistake.
We need to determine the malice of that. We need to determine the malice of that because we don't know what was going on in that Nazi's brain. We don't know why.
What is this false syllogism? Yeah, someone being thrown. Are you really? Are you? Hold on. Are you actually? Because are you complaining? Are you comparing someone being thrown into a systematic death camp to some cop shooting someone who's on the ground when someone yells gun and there's a gunshot? Are these two things identical to you?
No, I'm comparing.
I think a lot of Jewish people would find that offensive. Actually, by the way,
I'm comparing two people getting executed from behind. It's very simple. I don't even know why you're trying to misconstrue.
You're talking about intention. Intention that actually is the situation around it makes a big difference. Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's how malice works. Okay, do you not? So you believe the instance is all that matters for malice?
I genuinely don't.
This is an insane argument, dude. You're tweaking. You believe that the instance of the shooting is all that matters for malice, not the situations around it? Because malice is intention. You don't think the situation around it shows intention?
You are backpedaling like crazy, brother.
You think that the Nazis?
What you're saying on your Instagram post. You're
what did I say on my Instagram post?
That it wasn't okay.
Yeah,
that it wasn't okay.
No.
You weren't standing with it.
I said that it was probably. I said that it was probably unjustified. No. I said that it was probably unjustified. You're debating that I should be able to say for 100% fact it was definitely a murder with malice. What I'm saying is, I'm not one of the people who's going to say, it was awesome, ISIS are my heroes. ISIS was clearly correct in every way, but I'm also not an idiot like you who's going to say, I can read his mind. It was malice, he clearly wanted to kill someone. This is just identical. This is exactly identical to whenever the literal Nazis were executing people. You know how insulting that is to Jewish people? Like, do you really think that's a good comparison?
Yeah, that's insulting to Jewish people.
Yeah, it is. It is comparing a police misfire to a Holocaust execution is insulting to Jewish people, bro. I don't know if you can discern that. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They're the same thing. They're clearly the same thing. They're the same thing. They're just as bad. Wait, a cop shooting someone doesn't show malice when there's Holocaust? Yeah, no. Yeah, it is offensive. Yeah, it's offensive. Yeah,
two innocent people. I never, brother. Comparing two innocent people getting their brains blown out from behind.
Yeah, one in a systematic death camp, one in a momentary failure of police action. Yeah, very different.
Jewish people.
No, that's offensive. Yeah, it's offensive. Okay, listen, I'm not a Jewish person, so I'm not gonna cry about it. But I'm saying, like, yeah, that is.
Did I offend you, Jackson?
No, I'm not
sorry.
Jewish, but if I was Jewish, I'd probably be bothered
I'm
by it.
sorry.
But no,
But
I
you
think
could-
it's
you
a
could tell that would be really offensive to other people, right? But you're not offended.
no.
You
I'm
could
not.
just tell that would be offensive to other people, but you can't tell if the ICE agent has malice when he's trying to blow someone's brain out from behind. But you can tell what your audience is thinking. Like, oh yeah, that could be offensive to them. That's fucking ridiculous, bro. That's such a stupid point. You literally just disproved your entire fucking argument right there.
You're right. Clearly, I debunked myself. So we can move on to the next point. So, gosh, what is the? I mean, what else do you want to talk about? Okay, so clearly we know his intention. We could read his mind. It's just like the Holocaust, apparently. Not disrespectful at all. You're right. So, moving on
We
to
can read his mind, man. That's what we need to do to justify a murder, I guess. Yeah. We gotta read his mind to be able to tell the intent.
Yeah, that's the
Insane.
point. That's the point of the crime. Okay.
Yeah,
So
no, I know that's your point. I'm very aware that that's your point. I'm just making fun of your point because it's absolutely ridiculous.
well, because
and
there's
so
not
out of touch.
indicators that would show malice. But this is
Right.
boring for the audience. We're just focusing on this one topic. So I'm a Nazi. You've said this before. You said that I'm a Nazi. So let's talk about this. Why am I a Nazi?
Why are you a Nazi?
Yes.
I think that you hold beliefs that actually, you know what? I'm gonna backtrack on that. I don't necessarily think you're a Nazi. I think you are a victim to a mind virus. I think
Gotcha.
I think you are a exact reflection of the average of the average. What's the way to put this? Let me think about how I'm gonna word this. Give me a second.
I guess will we be?
Yeah, no, I
will-
think
wait,
you're
hold on.
perpetuating.
Before we go,
I'm already. I think you're perpetuating
Okay.
societal norms that led to the fall of Weimar Germany and the rise of Nazi Germany. I think you're perpetuating the same sort of propaganda and tactics that the Nazis used to reel in weak minds and create the Nazi regime. I think it's not exact, but it's the same sort of mind virus, and you're willfully siding with a regime that is run by PDF files.
okay.
And you're just chill with it. It's not that it's really not that complicated.
Okay, so I am perpetuating norms that led to Nazis. Can you give me, let's go through slowly because I want to write these all down. What are the norms I am perpetuating that led to Nazis?
Yeah, man, let's go through this and give me just.
Gotcha. I guess also, will you be deleting the post claiming that I'm a Nazi because I'm not a Nazi anymore, or no?
No.
No
I'm gonna keep that
retraction.
up.
No retraction. Okay, gotcha.
No retraction. No retraction at all.
gotcha.
No, I still no.
But so I am
no,
still a
no,
Nazi.
No, yeah, I tried being a little bit nicer with you. I wasn't gonna
Okay,
directly
okay,
call you a
okay,
Nazi
let's
to
go.
your face.
Now
because
give me the
I
heat.
was
What do
gonna
you
give
think
the
I am?
benefit
Let's
of the
give me
doubt.
the heat. What do you think I am?
The Heab.
Give me the heat. I said the heat.
Give you the heat.
What do you think I am?
You,
So you do think I'm a Nazi? Okay, so I'm not perpetuating norms. I actually am a Nazi.
I think
okay.
I think you're essentially just a Nick Fuentes ripoff.
Am
I mean,
also
and that motherfucker is
a
straight
Nazi. Am also a Nazi. Well, I'm not a Nick Fuentes ripoff, but what do I believe that's Nazism? Go through my beliefs. Which of my beliefs are the most Nazism? Most
Jackson,
Nazi?
I don't know you. I don't entirely.
Okay,
know
well,
your beliefs,
but I'm a
however,
Nazi. But I'm a
Hold
Nazi.
on,
Wait,
I'm still talking. I'm still talking. If you want me to explain my
Okay,
point, you
go
let me
for it.
talk. I
My
think
bad.
that the beliefs that you're perpetuating and the rhetoric that you're perpetuating
Yes.
online is inherently Nazi
Okay.
rhetoric.
Gotcha.
It's very very similar.
and I am a Nazi. So like, which is which part? Like how?
Brother,
Let's go like in depth.
This is the
No,
stupidest dissection
okay.
I've ever.
Let's go in
heard.
depth. So
I've
where am
ever
I?
heard.
So I'm a
This is the
Nazi.
dumbest
What did I
dissection
say
ever.
that was Nazi? Like what? Yeah, let's go through my beliefs. Which of my beliefs are really Nazi? Like Naziistic or whatever?
Let's hear your beliefs. Let's hear your beliefs. What are your core values?
Oh, no, but
What are
you're
your core
who's
values?
making a claim? Me or you?
And I didn't say your beliefs. I said your claims are inherently.
Who's making a
are-
claim,
are
me or you?
inherently extremely similar to the Nazification.
Who's
of
dissecting the
Germany.
other person's
And-
worldview? You or me? You're dissecting
Huh?
my worldview. You're saying that I'm a Nazi, so you have to rationalize why I'm a Nazi. That's how argument works. So it's your turn.
Do
okay.
I?
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
I?
You're making a claim. Yeah, that's
Is
how it
that
works.
what I have to do right
So
now?
when
Is
you
that
make
what
a
I have to
claim,
do right now?
So in debate, it goes through segments. You say claim, and then you
Right.
typically defend
Okay,
your
yeah,
claim
so
with points.
that's
Like
what
what's
I
the
have to do that
points?
right
Yes.
now, like right
So
this
claim I am a Nazi. Points defending that I am a Nazi.
second. But
This is
Jackson,
the points.
I don't want to do that right now.
Okay, well, you're having a debate, so you're giving
Jackson.
up on this point, I guess. But yeah.
Am I giving up on this point? No, I literally gave you my point
No,
multiple times.
No, but that's
I said
Okay.
the points. I said the points. The rhetoric that you project
yes.
and speak on your platform
Yes.
is inherently Nazi rhetoric.
Which ones? Which ones?
You're not talking about killing the Jews, brother.
Yes.
But the way in which you are
Yes.
spreading propaganda.
No, I get this. I'm leading to the downfall of Weimar Germany, but which points? I'm asking specifically. I'm spreading
God.
like, how is this? What do you know how debate works? Like, so okay, so you make a claim that like you can't say okay. If I say Keaton, I think you are a Nazi, right? And then you say why? And I say I think you say things that Nazis say. What do you say? You say, well, what are the things? That's what I'm doing right now. It's like, what are the things I say? Like the beliefs.
Yeah, man. I like I said, I think it's less of the exact beliefs because no, I don't think like when comparing the regime that's rising today, while there are similarities, like I said, history rhymes. I don't necessarily think history repeats itself. History rhymes. I don't think you are necessarily a Nazi. When I call you a Nazi,
We just said that I was a Nazi. I feel like we're bouncing. Like,
hold on. I'm not directly saying that you are a Nazi for the Third Reich and you're walking around sig-heiling, brother. Yeah, that's the bladed rhetoric online. That's how social media works. But I do think that your beliefs coincide with the propaganda that led to the fall of Weimar Germany. Very, 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 very similar beliefs. I think in general, the rhetoric is inherently Nazi. I mean, your main thing is border and immigration.
So I'm a Nazi.
What were the Nazis doing?
I'm not a Nazi. I'm a Nazi because I care about the border.
Huh?
So I'm a Nazi because I care about the border.
You didn't allow me to finish my point.
Okay.
You didn't allow me to finish my point.
Keep going. Sorry, you're right.
Your main point of contention, your main point that you preach is immigration and deportations. What were the Nazis doing? Number one, first and foremost, when Hitler got into power.
Like killing socialists and like invading other countries. I mean, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and what else were they doing?
I don't know. I mean, probably care about the wait. Hold on. So I'm a Nazi because I care about the border.
They were directly targeting minority communities and blaming them for the fall of Germany.
When did I blame minority communities?
What are you doing?
When did I blame minority communities?
Brother, you support ICE.
Yeah,
the entire purpose behind the mobilization of ICE is a scapegoated pointing towards a small minority group of people, saying that these immigrants are all the issue. They're the issue of all of our economical problems right now.
What minority are illegal immigrants?
What minority are illegal immigrants? Illegal immigrants.
Wait, so
that is the minority.
Wait,
illegal immigrants themselves are inherently a minority because they are a small group of people in a very large country full of legal immigrants.
Okay, so illegal immigrants are a minority, and because I don't think that illegal immigrants should do you think I want to kill them? Like, wait, what do you think I want to do to illegal immigrants? I'm curious. Like, what do you think my plan is of attack? Like, I want them deported.
Has ICE been killing people? Have they been killing people? And not just American citizens. Have they been killing illegals? Have they been shooting people? People? Do they not have over 2,000 assault charges in the last 10 years?
Okay, so that clearly equates to Nazism, right? So I care about the border, and I want to deport illegals. Illegals are a minority group, so that's Nazism. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, like Obama. Wait, hold on. Obama. Wait.
I don't give a fuck about Obama.
Okay, is Obama a Nazi? Will you concede this?
Is Obama a Nazi?
Will you concede this?
What the fuck kind of point is that?
It's a direct comparison. Obama prioritizes the
Is it a direct comparison? Because Obama mobilized ICE and gave them an extra, what is it, like $80 billion funding to go terrorize people and literally break into their homes.
So Obama's a Nazi
There's videos
also, right?
of ICE agents blasting down people's doors. Yes. And taking people out. Dude, I'm not fully in line with Obama. I'm not a Democrat.
Okay, but is Obama a Nazi? So you said Nazi. What is a Nazi? Uses the border as their main point to try and deport a minority group. Is Obama a Nazi? That's your definition. Obama meets the definition. Are we gonna change it? We can change it. I'll let you change it, but you're wrong. Okay.
No, but I think you're getting mixed up here because when I say illegal immigrants, I'm not talking about rapists and murderers. I'm talking about people that are being framed, that are coming to this country to live a better life and pay taxes
illegally.
Breaking into the country. That are being framed. It's a misdemeanor. That are being framed.
It shouldn't be
as criminals, and the issue. Why shouldn't it be, Jackson?
Because it's invasion. Like, what do you think? Also, even though it's still
invasion.
illegal, it's still illegal. The
walking over a country.
It violates.
Invasion.
Getting Title 40. Hold on. Yeah. What do you think? How do you classify it? Breaking into a country, is that not a crime? Is that not illegal?
Breaking into a country, crossing a country's border. There's a reason why it's classified a misdemeanor.
Okay.
Brother.
Yeah. Wait. So what does that have to do with anything?
What does that do with anything? are just overstaying their visas. Most people that are being here illegally are coming here on
illegally.
vacation
Yeah,
and
illegally.
overstaying.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Are overstaying their visas. Like it's not it's these illegal immigrants. This group of people aren't the fucking cause of all the problems. The cause of every single fucking problem in the U.S. is the billionaire class, the top 1%. No questions asked.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. So moving back to me
Literally
being a
no
Nazi.
questions
Okay. I
asked.
guess so. Illegal immigration. So I'm a Nazi because point one, I want illegal immigrants to be deported. That's my focus.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh. Well, this
All
is
right,
an.
brother, you're
This is
heaping right now. You're
okay.
heaping right now. I said it
Okay.
multiple times.
Okay.
I think you're producing Nazi rhetoric. You're
Okay.
scapegoating a
Yes.
certain group of people,
Yeah. So we're going
saying
into the
they're
rhetoric.
literally
When did I say
okay.
that? Wait. When? How am I scapegoating them? What did I say that they did?
Huh?
How am I scapegoating them? What problem am I associating with them that's not accurate?
You support ICE, and in doing so, you support all of the rhetoric the Trump administration is pushing about illegal immigrants.
No, I don't. How does that make any sense? Are you stupid?
What do you mean? You
I
support
support.
ICE,
Okay,
brother?
first off, I don't support everything about ICE. I think ICE needs reform. I'm an ICE reform advocate. But so I support deportation. I support deportations being done. So I
do you
support
support deportation?
deportation. Why do I support deportation?
Yeah,
This
like
is
in
this is
what-
a
like in
completely
what-
separate
in
rabbit hole. I
what
support
way?
deportation for multiple reasons. I think that economically it has long-term negative benefits, overthrowing the rule of law. I think it sets a bad precedent. I think it's unjust. I think it's immoral because it's wrong to legal immigrants who are waiting in line. I think that we have a large pool of actual good legal immigrants who want to come over legally. We have a big line, so why would we codify 20 million people? There's one option, either leaving them in limbo, where they can basically work slave jobs, not even getting the minimum wage, or a second option where we can codify them, which is unjust, immoral, and ridiculous, or a third job where we can deport them, which is logical. And also, is
Logical.
yeah,
You don't think the
logical. Yeah,
logical
of the two
you don't
options,
think
yeah.
the logical solution to that would be to actually fix the immigration system rather than punishing the people that are trying to leave their war-torn countries to come here and seek a better life and live as an American and pay taxes and have a family here?
No,
You don't think the issue would just be to fix the system?
no.
That's making it hard for people to get into the country in general and not make it to where you can literally pay to get into the country like Donald Trump did as soon as he got into office in 2025?
No, I don't think fixing legal immigration is the solution to illegal immigration. I think making it harder to illegally immigrate is the solution than deporting everyone.
That's
Seems like a better solution
that's
to me.
crazy. Interesting
crazy?
take. Interesting take.
Is it crazy?
Yeah, that's
How will
actually
fixing
insane.
legal
That's like-
immigration fix illegal immigration?
Brother, no, I said fix the system. You didn't hear me. I said fix the system. Fix the system.
What should change? Keaton,
of
you are
coming
now
here to
president.
be
What
able-
will? Okay.
God,
You're
that
the
is such
president.
that is such a stupid.
What will
that is-
how
that is
how
such a
will
stupid
how
way to
will
argue.
fixing the system how will fixing the system of coming here fix the problem of 20 million people illegally being here? You see, these two things are
20 million
unrelated.
people? Do you mind sharing me your data on that?
It's just the
Do you mind sharing
report.
me your data
I
on
mean, like
that?
20 million border reports.
It's just the report, right?
interactions.
It's just the report.
Yeah, like that's the way you get it. Where's your data at,
It's just the
Keaton?
report.
Just the
Because 20
report.
because 20 million
Yeah.
Chinese age men, military age men
Yeah.
came through the border illegally. and
What are you
invaded our
talking? What are you talking
Right.
about?
We gotta
Okay,
deport
say it's
them.
50. What's
Brother,
the
that's-
solution, Keaton? What's the solution? You're obfuscating. Keaton,
the
you're
solution?
president.
What's the
How will
solution?
fixing
What's the
legal
solution? You
immigration?
pass a bill.
Yeah.
You pass a bill that fixes the fucking system from the ground up. It gets more judges involved so we can get rid of all of these people that came here and took advantage of the system, taking advantage of the asylum system. From there, you build the system back up and make it easier for people that are actually trying to come into the country legally to get in here and actually add to our economy and work. It's genuinely not that complicated.
So fixing the system, more judges. I support more judges, but what about all the people who have just been over and over again missing court cases? Like a lot of these illegal immigrants, a lot of them have missed their court appointments over and over and over again. That's the people we're deporting. It's not people who are awaiting like a court trial.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you do with them?
I'm
Yeah.
sure well, if you let me explain, I'm sure there's plenty of logistical ways to go about doing that. I mean, I'm not a lawmaker. I'm a citizen of the United States that is seeing what's going on right now. I'm sure there's plenty of people that are extremely qualified that can figure out solutions on what to do with those types of people. And I have no doubt in my mind that the government has the resources to carry that out non-violently in ways that aren't violent and deal with those people in ways that aren't shooting them, breaking down their doors, ripping them from their kids and parents. It's insane.
I mean, that's cool that you think that, but what's your alternate solution? I mean, I agree that we need reform in terms of like individual interactions. I think it's better to focus for the.
This is a stupid argument.
I
You're
can give
asking
you
me to
my
come up. You're asking me
solution.
to come up with a. You're asking me to come up with a solution like I'm the president of the United States to find out like it's not the job of the president of the United States to find out what to do. It's not my job. Some random American. I can address the problem without knowing the solution. It's not like that's not complicated to understand. I feel like.
Okay, so you don't have an opinion on how it should be done. Do you think it should be done? Like, do you think
I just told you.
deportations?
I literally just told
Yeah,
you.
you don't know
how
how
I
it
think
should be done.
How I
Yeah.
think it should be carried out.
Perfectly
But no, I don't.
non-violently with
I'm
no
not. I'm not
violence,
going to
yeah.
be able to answer. This is the dumbest argument. I'm not going to be able to answer the small little intricacies you're able to point out.
You mean the intricacies of the small intricacies of deporting the people who haven't shown up to trial? Is that a small intricacy, or is that mostly illegals?
Yeah, you're asking what to do with those people and how we can go about dealing with those people that don't show up to court dates. And I'm telling you that that's not my job to figure out. And there are plenty of qualified people within our government to come up with programs and ways to deal with those people that isn't violent and ripping them from their homes violently.
How are you how are you going to remove someone from the country without ripping them from their home violently? You think they're just gonna like hop in the car when you open the door?
How are you going to remove someone from the country without ripping them from their home violently? Brother, again, this is not for me to find out.
Because it's impossible. Because it's impossible. It's because it's impossible.
Is it impossible?
Well, okay. Well, the better solution, in my opinion, is going to work.
Hold on. This is coming from a Christian man.
Yeah.
You think the solution is to rip people from their homes violently
if they don't comply? If they don't comply, because that's how law enforcement works. What's the solution? What's the solution to taking people to jail that isn't ripping them from their home, Keaton? Because that's violent and wrong. Christians can't believe that. Or do criminals get detained forcefully? Is that how crime works, Keaton, or is that special to ICE?
Oh my God. If you allow more judges to come in to deal with all these people that are overflowing the system right now, you'll have more resources to be able to go after the people that are abusing it. Again, this is not something that I have to solve, but there's a very obvious solution to this, and it's fixing the foundation, not trying to just fucking patch holes on everything by capturing people and deporting them that are they might just fucking come back. I mean, that's not gonna, you know what I mean? That's not gonna stop them. Like just getting deported and sent out of the country isn't gonna make it so you can't come back in the U.S. and do it again.
If you make the border like closed like it is now, I mean, have you seen the reported daily crossings? It actually would stop it.
You said what?
Have you seen how like the low amount of reported daily crossings actually would stop it almost definitely if you're initially deported because Trump's reigning the border? One of the few good things I believe a bad person can do. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is, I think you're missing a key issue here. People want to come to the U.S. People want to come here to live a life, and they want to work. And they want. This is the thing that people want to do. Maybe not currently, with the way that the political spectrum is.
The wait list
leaning,
is still infinite, so yeah, it's still very long.
You said what?
The immigration wait list is still extremely long, so it seems to be going pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, there's undeniably a lot of people that want to come here and live a good life. Yes. So I don't understand the problem with putting systems in place and putting funding and resources into creating a better foundation to get those people in here that want to work and actually add to our country, rather than just putting all that money into military force to rip people out of their homes and throw them out of the country instead of actually fixing the root issue, because the problem is just going to continue.
So who shouldn't be allowed to immigrate to America? I'm curious. Like everyone who wants to come, just let them all come?
Who shouldn't be allowed to immigrate to America?
Yeah, should we just let everyone in?
No,
they want to come. It's they're trying to avoid bad life, right? So they want to come, right?
You said what?
They want to come to the country.
Is this an actual point that you're?
Yeah, it is. Brother, what do we do?
I'm not.
Is this a real point? So I'm saying you're telling me.
I'm not.
So you're telling me that with the way we fix. Okay, so you want to fix the system. People want to come in. That's good. So I agree. Yeah, people want to come in. I understand it. But some people are not fit to come in because they will make the country worse. Do we not agree on this?
Surprise.
Yes.
Hey, Jackson, do you not think that there are already things in place? I'm not a fucking immigration officer. I don't fucking sit there and check people's papers as they come through the border. Do you not think there's systems in place to check these people's history in their country that they are from to make sure that they weren't committing violent crimes over there and coming here to commit violent crimes?
Yeah, when they come in legally, but not when they come in illegally, because a lot of them have criminal records. This is why they need to come in legally. And if they came in illegally, you just agreed some people shouldn't come in. So we both have this in common. So then, of course, the people who came in illegally, we don't know if they should be here. You agreed some people shouldn't be here. Maybe we get them out and get the people that we both agree should come in. Does that make more sense?
you're on the right track. You're on the right track.
Yes.
So how do we get how do we narrow these
Yeah.
people down?
So how do we
make it
deport them?
easier
So
for
it's
the
me and
people
you
that-
trying to figure out how to deport these people, right?
No. I'm telling you, if you want to get all of the people into the country that are coming here to do good, you make the system easier to come here and get in here and do good.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do. That way, the people that are coming here to seek better lives, escaping their countries,
Wait,
aren't
is
getting
seeking
lumped
is
in
seeking
and
a better
mixed in
is seeking a better life the only reason you should be able to come to America? Is that the only criteria? Or is it like
No,
criminal
it's
record
not.
and seeking a better life, like everything else? Just if you're seeking a better life and you have no criminal record, just come in. You can live here forever.
I mean, I think you should be. I think you should be able to immigrate to pretty much any country you want, as long as you again qualify to be able to immigrate to that country. As long as you're accepted into that country. I mean, every fucking country is different, right?
Okay.
But I'm an American. I live in America, and I can acknowledge. I have people I know that have gone through the immigration system. Everyone can acknowledge it fucking sucks. So why don't we fix it?
Okay, so if you want to come into America, you should just be allowed to come into America, just if you want to. Anybody, if you're not a criminal and you want to
Yeah,
come
that's
in.
what I said, Jackson.
That's what you
That's what
said.
I said.
Yeah, that's what you said.
That's a
You
real-
said
that's a real
if you
steal,
want to
man.
come in, you should basically be allowed to come in. That's what you said. What's your position? Let's go through
Wait,
it.
hold
Okay.
on. Why should someone?
If I'm straw
why should
manning you,
someone
if
not
I'm
be-
straw manning you,
why should
compare. No,
someone
no,
not be
no, no, no,
able
no, no, no,
to-
no. Let's evaluate your statement. If I'm straw manning you,
Okay.
take my
Yeah.
statement and then your statement and compare whether they're different.
Yeah, compare whether they're different. I'm saying if people want to come here to be an American,
Yes.
live the American life,
Yes.
pay taxes, raise their kids, buy houses, have a job, they should be able to do so without sitting on a 10-year wait list because the system sucks. They shouldn't have to. Brother, when your country's at war, you think you're really thinking about what the other country that you're running to is going to think? You're trying to get the hell out of there. I mean, obviously, you would never understand that. I wouldn't even understand that, but I can understand people leaving countries, war-torn countries, trying to come to a better country. Maybe it's not America. Maybe it's a different country. I can imagine them not really giving a shit and just figuring it out when they get there because they don't want to die.
I mean, yeah, they probably don't give a shit. That's bad, though. You should probably care about the country you're trying to move into, because you want people in your country who identify with your country, who care about your
It's almost
country.
like nationalist
Who...
entitled take.
It's nationalism. Is nationalism bad?
Yes,
Okay.
nationalism is bad.
What is nationalism?
What is nationalism?
Yeah, it's bad.
I actually, I don't know the textbook definition. But it's essentially wearing your country as a badge, wearing your country as honor, and putting your country above every other country around you. Having this narcissistic mentality around your country, like it's any more important than anyone else's. To me, in my eyes, that's bad.
Is our
You can say
country
patriotism.
is our
you can-
country
you can
not
be a
like
there's a difference between being a patriot.
what's the difference between being a patriot and a nationalist?
Actually, I actually don't know. I don't know the exact definition difference. But I know that being a nationalist is significantly different because it requires you to essentially disregard every other country because yours is more important and yours comes first. Patriotism is I mean, again, I don't have the textbook definition, but patriotism is essentially just being proud of your country and loving your country and your culture and the place where you come from. It has nothing to do with putting other countries down or putting yours first.
Just put the fries in the bag, bro. Just put the fries in the bag, bro. They're almost exactly synonyms. I mean, like, being a nationalist is like having like.
If that's the
allegiance
case,
to
I'll
your
give that. I'll
nation.
give that one to you because
Okay.
again, I don't know the exact definition, so I'll give
Gotcha.
that. I'll give that
Okay.
to you.
Well, thank you very much. So I guess we can go to the Nazi thing. So I'm a Nazi. So we talked about more reasons. So border.
We're gonna go back to the Nazi thing. I've already
Yes.
explained this.
Well, no,
We're
but-
gonna go back to the Nazi thing.
We
Is this
haven't
the
gone
only
through all
point
of
that you
it.
want to sit on the
I
entire
want
night?
to talk about it. It's a big claim. You're claiming I'm a Nazi. If I claimed you were a
Big
Nazi,
claim?
if I claimed you were a Nazi, would you want to talk about it, Keaton?
Jackson, if you claimed I was a Nazi, I would laugh because I don't have to defend that I'm not a Nazi. That's
Clearly I
insane.
do because
The
you're
fact that you
claiming
have
it on
to
the
defend that you're
internet.
not a
Clearly
Nazi-
I do because you're telling your fan base. Clearly I do. I get a lot of messages from people who follow you that say like KYS Nazi or like crazy stuff. So I'd kind of like to clear the air. You know,
Interesting.
how does
I get a lot
Keaton
of- I
prove?
get a- that's
Okay,
how the internet
okay.
works, buddy.
Keaton, yeah, I know,
That's how the
I
internet
know,
works.
I know. But I'm saying clearly it's rubbing off. So I'm curious. So I'm a
Spice it up
Nazi.
some of that
Okay,
right
so I'm
now.
a Nazi. Big claim, right? You claimed it in a debate. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
indict.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a evaluation of your principles. It's time to put your principles under
And we're
review.
back here.
Principle 1,
my
Keaton.
God.
Jackson Heab is a Nazi, according to Keaton. So I'm a Nazi because of reason number 1, I prioritize the border. Nazis also prioritize the border.
God.
There's more to that, right? Being a Nazi isn't just the border, right? Can we agree? There's more, right?
We can agree on that. We can
Okay,
agree on that.
so there's more. So let's go over the next bulletin point. Bulletin point 1 is the in-group, out-group. I think illegal immigrants are an out-group, so I want to deport them. Let's go into the rest of what makes me a Nazi.
Yeah, brother. Like I said before, I think that the claims that you make on the internet are inherently in line with Nazi propaganda. Therefore, I think that you are just adding to the general rise of Nazism and fascist beliefs like it in America today. Okay. I don't think it's that complicated. I called you a Nazi because inherently it's easier to just fucking say that on the internet. Because I think in doing so, you are acting as a Nazi. Do I think you're ideologically a Nazi, Jackson? No. I don't think you're.
Then why'd you say I was a Nazi? I called you a Nazi because it was easier than saying what you were.
It is an Instagram reel. You're taking it way too literally. I think you are
pushing
Nazi rhetoric. I think you are pushing rhetoric that is synonymous with Nazi rhetoric. I don't think you're ideologically a Nazi that wants to kill Jews and proceed the Aryan race. Like that's not that. Like you're holding on to this point way too.
Can my editor roll every time that Keaton has said you are a Nazi, you aren't a Nazi, you are a Nazi, you aren't a Nazi? Can we roll the comparison? I'll clear it up for the audience. I know Keaton doesn't know, but I know I'm not a Nazi. I'm just a conservative, and we're spiraling right now. Okay, so let's see here.
Do you have a different point?
Okay, so I'm not a Nazi. We beat that one. Okay, so there's Nazi.
Right.
The socialist thing, the ICE thing. I mean, there's a lot more to talk about, right? So I mean, like, what are you into? What's your what's some of your bigger belief principles?
What am I into?
Yeah, like politically, like what are you into? Sorry.
I mean, ideologically, I identify as a secular humanist. I just believe in the general happiness and well-being of all human beings. And any way that we can go about that in spreading love and careness throughout the world, I think we should take that approach, and we should approach things more empathetically. I don't think everything has to be taken by force and colonialism and all this insane empirical bullshit that history has repeated over and over and over again. I think it's completely unnecessary and is very synonymous with Christianity and a lot of mainstream religion, unfortunately.
Okay, let's talk about, so Christianity obviously is leading to all the hardship. So as a secular humanist, general happiness for humans, right? That's the goal, right?
Yes, sir.
Under your ideology, why is unhappiness bad?
Why is unhappiness bad?
Yes, like what's your ethical principle behind it?
Jackson, this is ridiculous. I don't think I need to. I'll keep answering your questions, but I don't think I need to answer that specific question. Why is unhappiness bad? Because because this human being is unhappy. What do you mean? Is it bad when you're unhappy? Is it bad when you're sad? Is it bad when you're going through a depressive episode? Yes, that is. Every human being can agree on that. That sucks. That's not good. Can we change that?
Well, this is an ethical. I'm talking philosophy. So this is an ethical question. Like, why at your deepest level do you think unhappiness is bad, and that's the prioritization? Like, why is that intrinsically bad? I'd argue that unhappiness can be a good thing. I'd argue that unhappiness can sometimes give you motivation, because I'm a Christian ethicist. So to me, that's my principle behind it.
Okay. Well, unhappiness can come in many different forms, right? It doesn't necessarily just means you're depressed. I mean, it can come from fucking anything, right? Generally, human beings being unhappy, being sad, being hurt, being scared, being fearful. This isn't good. If we can solve this, don't you think we should?
Not if you're unhappy for a higher purpose. I'm not a very happy person, but I think that I'm living a good life. I have a lot of motivation. I have a Christian moral code for where I need to go. You know, I have a prioritization.
Where do you get your moral code?
From God, from a Christian ethicism.
Would you say it's objective?
Objective? Yeah, I would.
How so?
I'm Catholic, so it's objective.
I used to be a Catholic. I grew up Roman Catholic. How is your morality objective?
Hold on. I'm holding up a catechism of the Catholic Church. Oh no, the green screen's taking it out. The catechism of the Catholic Church. So it's codified and documented by the Holy Roman.
I know what it is.
Church.
I know what it is.
Yes. So why is unhappiness bad? I guess to you, like why? What's the foundation of it?
No, I asked you a different question.
Okay, yeah, it's objective because the catechism is objective. So it's an objective source of morality.
The catechism is objective. That's not objective morality. Would you agree with me that if okay, let's say I made an objective set of rules, but occasionally I made an exception and broke these rules, but only me, not the people I made the rules for. would you say that's still objective?
Can you repeat your hypothetical? Sorry.
Okay, so, for example, if God tells you to kill somebody, would you do it?
Yes.
Just you can answer yes or no. Okay. Wild. Okay, so is killing against God's law? Is that not a Ten Commandments?
I mean, like, murder
Thou
is
shalt
against
not
God's
kill.
law. It's thou shalt not murder.
Thou shalt
No, in
not
the older
murder.
translations, it's
Right,
murder.
so-
In the traditional translations of the Catholic Church, it's murder. So thou shalt
Right,
not
and
murder. So, yeah.
I'm gonna ask you. So I'm gonna ask you again. If God asked you to murder somebody,
Yeah.
would you do so?
Well, in this
Right, so
case,
then
it goes
how is
against.
How
Can
is
God-
that reality? How is that an objective morality? Is if he's subjectively willing to disregard his morality?
Can
his,
God
his
create another
objective set of
God?
rules to tell? Huh?
I'm making fun of you. No, yeah, so it's not against morality because morality, as God defines it, is what God tells us to do. So in this case, God telling us to do something overrules his prior statement that you cannot do it. So that's objective.
But that's not objective.
Yeah, it is.
That's not objective.
Objective
that's
because
subjective.
what's
that's quite
okay.
literally the definition of subjective.
It's
and
subjective to whatever
No.
God wants.
No.
Yeah. But I mean, objectively, whatever God wants is the truth.
Brother, that is inherently if God is the creator of morality,
Yeah.
and morality is subjective to whatever he wants, that is not objective morality. I hate to break it to you. That's subjective morality.
What's the definition of
Just
good?
because
What's
God
the
gets to
definition?
change-
No. Let's stick on that. What's the definition of good under Christian ethicism?
What's the definition of good under Christian ethicism? I don't know.
It's
What the
God.
fuck? That's such a random
So
question.
whatever God wants is the objective good. So if God wants one thing
So then
here
that's
and then one
quite
thing
literally-
here, then objectively that was true, and now objectively that was true.
That's
Consistency.
subjective. That's quite literally the definition of subjective.
It's subjective?
Based
Okay, the
on or
definition
influenced
of
by personal
good-
feelings, tastes, or opinions. I
No.
mean, unless you
Well, it's
genuinely think
influenced
that
by
God can't have
God's
opinions and
opinion, I
feelings.
guess. Does that mean it's subjective? No, the objective
That doesn't mean it's
standard.
subjective.
Okay, so the objective standard is that whatever God says
Yeah.
is correct. The objective standard is whatever God tells me is correct. So then, I guess what God chooses can
That's
change. But does that mean
Jackson.
okay?
That's
Okay,
subjective.
okay. So then
Because
I subjectively
based on or influenced by
I s-
personal feelings, tastes, or opinions.
I guess if
That's
you
not
semantically.
objective. If it was objective,
Well,
it
it's
would
not
never
personal. Wait,
change.
no. Let's read subjective definition.
That's objective.
Well, objectively, the definition always stays the same, which is what does God say? So we can see like a subjective. I can. You could be right. This is a pretty semantic thing. Based on personal feelings, tastes, or opinions. I mean, yeah, it's based on God's opinions. You're right. I'm subjective. Subjective towards God. I mean, not towards like a political or like a human belief.
So then there's no objective moral reality.
Well, no, objectively, whatever God says is the moral reality. It's like what God is good, God is what is true.
That would be
Maybe
subjective.
it's based on
Whatever he says, whatever God says
is objectively true.
Moral
because
reality
God's
that
saying
is
it.
subjective. And bro, you don't even know the definition of the word. That's not how that word works. That's subjective. If he's changing morality based on whatever he thinks, that is quite literally the definition of subjective. There is no objective moral reality that does not exist in this universe. It's just not true.
Oh, but the definition
Even under Christianity.
the definition of the objective moral reality is that objectively, whatever God thinks is right is the moral reality. So it's not like I mean like it's to God's wishes what the okay, so like let's say so your moral reality
objective,
so here let me explain more
more
clearly. My
Yeah,
moral reality
go
is not a code, right? Okay. My moral reality is what God believes, and God gave me a code that I should work with until He would interfere with that. Now, my moral reality is not the code, but it's the giver of the code. So my moral principle is objectively that whatever God says is always good. Having a consistent code that never changes because God can change doesn't mean that the objective ethical framework of whatever God says goes is changing. So it's still objective.
Yeah, no, that's just a bunch of.
I don't know why I
words
conceded that
it's-
initially. I
it-
wasn't thinking very hard.
No, it's not. It's an objective reality, and just an objective is not influenced by personal feelings or opinions in considering and representing facts. Therefore, an objective moral reality would not nor ever change for any reason. If God is willing to change, if you're willing to change your objective moral reality because God said so, or God thinks that this should happen, that's not an objective moral reality. That quite literally
But my
is the
objective moral
definition of
reality is that
subjective.
whatever God says is correct. It's not changing my objective moral reality. It's changing
Right,
what my
that is
objective moral reality
That's what I'm
leads to.
trying to make you understand. That's you're just throwing the word in there. That's still the definition of subjective.
Okay, we can just agree to disagree here. I think this is a definitional difference, it's semantic. But either way, I believe that subjectively, I believe that whatever God thinks is true. If that makes sense. I think that objectively, whatever God thinks is true. But I guess what God thinks is subjective. So in that way, the moral reality is subjective, but my view that God's correct is objective. Does that go?
Yeah.
Can we work with that?
Yeah. No, that checks out, man. That definitely checks out.
What doesn't check out about that?
No, I'm saying like that checks out. That makes sense. That's consistent with Catholic teaching. That definitely makes sense from your point of view.
Sweet.
Not sure exactly where that was going. We can agree to disagree on there.
Well, no, you can't explain why you believe that being bad things are bad. You can't explain why being hurt is bad.
That's what you're
or being
asking.
Unhappy is bad.
Yeah, no, I think
Yeah.
the the invasion or damage of another human being's sovereignty is inherently bad.
What is
I
sovereignty?
think if we're sovereignty, a person's individuality, their person, their body. If you're damaging them in any physical, mental, or emotional way, I mean, I think that's inherently bad. I mean, and
even if they commit like a crime, or even if can anyone deserve to have their sovereignty violated?
Brother, that's not a Christian take. It doesn't matter.
Now
if
we're
commits a
arguing
crime,
with
that
your
doesn't give you the right-
ideology, is
that
what I'm
doesn't-
saying. Your ideology. So like, can someone be
Okay,
hurt for committing a crime?
you just pointed that out, so I assume that was something that you believed. But
Yeah, I do.
under
I
my-
do believe that. Yeah, you can punish people for crime. Yeah,
you can mistreat people because they're criminals.
you can. No, not mistreat them, but you punish them correctly and justly. Catholic teaching
you can
requests
punish
just law and just punishment.
Yeah. Well, that's that's something. Yeah. No. I mean, the way I go.
Do you not believe in just punishment?
Do I not believe in just punishment? No, I don't believe that you should enact just punishment through the Bible.
What? Did I say through the Bible or through like your hands? Like, how is it through the Bible?
Through the Bible by justifying it through the Bible.
What do
through
you
Catholic
justify it
teachings.
by? You just think hurting people is bad because you feel that way?
Huh?
You think hurting people is bad because hurting people is bad? How do you justify it? I justify it by the Bible. How do you do it?
I think if you I think if you punch someone in the face and they're hurt, that's clearly bad. And I think any
How?
human being with a functioning brain.
How?
How?
What
Jackson,
if,
are you actually gonna
what
ask
if
me
I'm
how
an
it's
evil
bad if
person
you
and I like
punch
that?
someone
Why
in
is
the
that
face?
bad?
You're adding context that doesn't. You're adding context that doesn't matter.
You don't get
You're
the
adding context
philosophy
that
here. You don't
literally-
understand what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that you
Right.
say something is bad. We're evaluating your internal, political, moral principle that founds everything, which is that people should we should prioritize general happiness. And this comes from what? Why should we prioritize general happiness? This is the foundation of your entire reality, your entire worldview. Why do you believe that we should prioritize general happiness?
Is that actually a question I need to answer?
Yes, that's how ethics works.
Jackson,
Yes.
Is that actually a question that you want me to answer? It is pretty obvious why I think we should prioritize general happiness.
Why?
We are here on this earth, on this goddamn floating space rock, not to suffer. We're like we can make something of our existence, brother.
We can,
and,
but why?
And if we are able to, but why? That's just what you're gonna keep asking me. But why? I don't know, bro. Why does the universe even exist at all? Who fucking knows? I know it's not Sky Daddy. It's
Okay.
like what do you mean why?
I mean, you don't know why. You don't have an ethical principle. You don't know why bad things are bad. That means your foundational reality
Jackson,
is based on how you
You're asking me to explain something to you that every single human being can explain to themselves.
No,
in
not
their head.
everyone
Why are
agrees
bad
on
things
that.
bad?
Not everyone agrees on that. A lot of people don't think
You're
that. A lot
right.
of people like killing
You're
people. A lot of people
right.
are evil, actually. So in order to make an ethical principle, you have to have a foundational reality, right? Don't you?
Do you?
Yeah, you do. That's how ethics work.
To make an ethical principle, right? So
Yeah.
So what is God's foundational reality?
His will.
His will.
What he wants to do.
Just what he wants to do.
Yeah,
whatever
God
he
doesn't
wants
have
to
an
do.
ethical principle code. He does what he wants to do.
Right. And in your eyes, is that what I'm doing?
What do you mean? Like your eyes, you're
By
doing what
not
you're.
by not by like by being a secular humanist and just making my own in your words objective reality, like making up my own morals. Is that what you think I'm doing?
What you want to do. I think you're believing what you feel is convenient or what maybe makes sense to you, but you don't really have like an ideological belief behind it. Maybe those two things are similar.
And what is your ideological belief? Just what God says? That's it. Like you're deconstructing my ideological framework, but yours is just, well, it's just whatever God tells me.
That's my ethical fundamentals. Yeah, yeah. I'm a Christian ethicist, so I
Yeah,
follow
that's
what I
real
believe is the
fucking.
Christian teaching. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
real. That's
Your
real
ethical
easy.
principles are
That's
what you
pretty.
feel like.
That's
Your
pretty
ethical principles
lazy.
are what you feel like. Yours is so much easier. How is your ethical principle
Mine is
more or
so much
less
easier, brother.
easy?
Brother,
Yeah,
what do you
less
mean?
easy.
You have a brother. I grew up
Yeah,
Catholic.
yeah.
In Catholicism, you have a
Okay.
framework handed to
Yes.
you, a
Where does
way
the
that is
current framework come from for you? Where does the new Keaton framework come from? Feels and vibes?
Caton.
Keaton, sorry.
Caton
I have a speech impediment
feels
from when I was
feels the
younger.
vibes.
Yeah, where does the
Oh,
new
you're okay.
Keaton framework come from?
Is this actually, bro? Is this actually okay? Yeah, no, I can explain it. It comes from the Enlightenment and seek for greater understanding of human well-being, and I think that we can absolutely go about that if we're not consistently distracted by Sky Daddy and people in the sky telling us that their opinions are what matters and how the universe needs to be run, because when they decide that murder is not wrong anymore and they want to tell and he wants to tell you to go murder someone and you decide that that's okay just because Sky Daddy said it, but it literally in your 10 commandments it says that you shouldn't do that, that kind of bothers me, man. That doesn't really
Okay.
work for me.
So why do we follow God? And it's just people. So like, would you prefer? We have two options here. Okay. So
Yeah,
most Americans believe in God. Most Americans are Christian.
I'm gonna check that right now. I assume so,
I
but
could
I'm
be
actually
wrong,
gonna see
actually. I think I'm fairly certain. I'll look it up too.
what is the Christian.
It's Christian. Yes, the majority of Americans still identify as Christian, 62
You're
to
right,
66%.
60%.
So what should
Yeah.
Americans follow? They have two options. A, follow the God they believe exists, or B, follow what you feel like makes sense.
Well, and Jackson, that's kind of not the point here. It's really none of my business to tell people what to believe. It becomes my business when those beliefs start getting put into law. It's genuine. I don't care what you believe. You can do whatever you want. It's your life. I just don't like that being used in ways that are controlling other people
But do you not believe
and
that your
invading
beliefs
other
should be put
people's
into
privacy.
law?
Do I not believe that my beliefs should be put to law? No, I think that human beings should come together collaboratively and discuss what laws make the most sense to function in a society, to make a
But your
happier
end
society.
goal of prioritizing happiness for everyone, you think that your end goal of your belief should be put into law, right? Because whatever is good is how the law should act, right?
No, I'm not narcissistic like that. I don't think my beliefs are the end all be all. I'm
So you don't think they're right?
constantly
Is it
on.
narcissistic to think that your beliefs are correct?
I think it's narcissistic to believe that my belief should be made law. I don't think that my belief should be made law. In fact, I'm still growing in my belief because I'm just a human being that deconstructed out of his faith and is trying to enlighten himself and continue his thirst for knowledge. That doesn't mean my beliefs or anyone else's beliefs should solely be the fucking country's ideology or put into law. I think human beings are very much capable of collaborating and working together to find what best works for society. I really don't think it's that complicated. I don't think God has anything to do with that.
Well, it does because you're talking about what best. The terms you're using is the end goal is people should work together to find out what is best for society, right? So everyone comes together with their principal beliefs to find what is best, right? Well,
Best.
we're not
Yes.
disagreeing with the
But
goal.
for all
I
of
actually,
society, not just
I
like some people.
we're
Like
we're, we're
everyone.
disagreeing with what best means here. Is what I'm saying. So that's
Believe
what I'm
so.
saying. It's like, how can we all come together to make what's best when the different ethical reality of you says that what's best is general happiness for all humans. So I'm saying for me, that's a difference. It's where it's like, we have to say like, if you can't evaluate your fundamental principles, it's kind of hard to make a like push in the right direction because your end direction is based off of what you feel like.
Well, Good thing I'm not legislating, right? Good
That's
thing I'm
true.
not running the country. I'm a person that is sitting here in my bedroom that has my own beliefs and is trying to enlighten myself in what I believe is a true thirst for knowledge and not just bullshit that comes from a book that has been changed a bajillion times throughout history, that people mindlessly believe, that has no
Fully
substantial
consistent with
evidence
all of the
or
original translations we've uncovered, dating back from the year like 40 AD. Have a full copy like the Vulgate in like
brother.
400, unchanged
Yeah,
since then.
yeah.
Original
I
copies,
look,
carbon dated.
I
Dead Sea Scrolls like 2000
I
BC.
foundationally have a different, it's not about the translations for me. I foundationally have a different view on the Bible. I think I'm really not in alignment with the Old Testament, but I think there are interesting things about the New Testament. I think the Gospel of Mark is very fascinating and depicts a version of Jesus that is very often not depicted. Oh, I'm sorry, having a hiccup. That is very commonly not depicted in Western media, and so there's a lot of interesting things about the Bible. However, it's not something I'm using to framework my life together. I'm trying to build my own moral framework as I gain wisdom and experience in this life. I'm not gonna just be born into Catholicism and have someone tell me what to do from the sky all the time. That has literally only negatively affected me in my life. Every
Well,
single
I'm
bit
sorry.
about
I
Catholic
personally, I
teaching
can say I'm very
has
deeply
negatively affected
sorry
me.
it's negatively affected you. I know for me, at least, I actually grew up initially going to Catholic school, rejected it, thought it negatively affected me. It took a lot of time and a lot of soul searching, for me to actually choose to pursue the faith, like at the age of like 17. But I can say like as a Christian, I'm sorry it's negatively affected you. I really am. But I guess like moving on from that, we can just. I think that's a well fleshed out point.
Well, it's like that because of control, right? My parents growing up were extremely controlling, and that reflects in the ways that governments work when religious people get into power. It becomes this control over their religious beliefs and the persecution onto others, and that's not how you run. That's not how you governments. They should be secular. They should always be secular.
I fully
You don't
agree that
need
you
a
need freedom of what to practice. I fully, fully, fully agree with that. I believe that no
no, but
government.
like the
I
laws in general should not be within anyone's religious beliefs
well, I
because you
believe
wouldn't
that
be
there's
okay
no.
if
I believe that there's no possible. Here's the way what I'm getting at with all this, like what is good thing, what is happiness. I'm not just trying to beat around the bush. I'm saying that I think that every
yeah.
government, the laws are defined by the moral framework of the people, right? And if your moral framework happens to be Christianity, then your laws are primarily defined by Christianity at a level. Now, I believe you should have freedom to practice. I don't believe that you should ever be raised and told what you can and cannot believe. But I do believe that Christian people will make laws that are generally indicative of the Christian sense of good and bad.
Yeah, but
Fortunately,
that's not what
though,
America's about, man. That's not what America. That's not what
what is
America's
America
about.
about, though?
It's I, I'm not gonna be able to answer that question. However, I can tell you that it was written in the Constitution that church and state should be separated. And
It wasn't.
although all
Where church
what
and state
what
never appears in
50 of
any
the founding
document other
fathers.
than a letter from Thomas Jefferson in private. Church and state separation is not mentioned in the
You said
Constitution a
what?
single time. Church and state separation is not mentioned in the Constitution a single
I
time.
don't think that's true, actually.
It is.
I don't think that's true. I don't think it was. I don't think this is the exact like phrase.
Freedom
Church and
of
state should be
religion is
separated.
what you're talking
Um,
about, which is that doesn't go against what I'm arguing
But
for.
you can't have freedom. You can't have freedom of religion if religion is governing. If you're putting laws in your government that are pushing your religious beliefs and message.
Yeah, you
Like
can. We do it all
that
the
doesn't
time. Wait, no,
really
but no,
allow
but the
for
laws
religious freedom.
aren't for pushing religious belief. That's not the argument behind the laws. The argument behind the laws is not to
How
make
so?
no one. I mean, well, maybe some people are. I'm not arguing for laws that are pushing religious belief. I'm arguing for laws that encapsulate the sense of Christian morality, which the vast majority of the populace has. So under democracy, that's how the laws would be naturally. Is for a Christian population to probably have laws that reflect some level of Christian morality, right?
Sorry, one more time.
I'm not arguing for laws that tell you what to believe.
Well, you are arguing for laws that are telling people what to do with their bodies, though, based off of your religious beliefs that other people don't have. And I'm not gonna like go into a long debate with you about abortion because I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not super educated on abortion, and most of my life I was pro-life. But I don't believe it is right to make that a law. I don't believe it is right to be able to control people because of your religious beliefs and what you think will be best for someone else's kid.
We don't think the laws
I
can
don't. I
control
don't think
people's
that's
bodies,
okay.
right? No law can affect your body.
No, I don't think you should specifically be able to tell people what surgeries they can and cannot get when it comes to their own self.
Well, first
Like
off, I can say
that's
like
not really a
there's sort
government's
of two elements
responsibility,
where
I
this
don't
doesn't make
think.
sense to me, and I don't want to get too big into abortion, but I can say where this doesn't mesh with me. So the main reasons why I would refute that is because first off, I don't consider the child, or I would call baby, I don't consider the baby's body to be the body of the mother. I consider them fundamentally different. And secondly, I would say that bodily autonomy is actually not a thing that the government really protects at all. You can choose people to get shipped off into war. People have committed no crimes, right? We have a draft, and if we don't, we're kind of screwed, right? So we kind of have to have
Hey,
one as a
Jackson,
country.
I don't agree with the draft. I don't. I'm
You
not.
don't?
I'm anti-war. No,
Okay,
I don't agree with the
gotcha.
draft. So
What
it's
happens
just
if we do have a war? How do we get people out there?
well, I hope that doesn't happen. Because I wouldn't be fighting it. I'm good off that. I'm not gonna fight some old man's war, especially a PDF files war. You take me to prison. That's okay. That's much better than going and dying for a PDF file.
But you do see how like a
All
country,
that.
like maybe you don't want the country to succeed, but like people who want the country to like remain alive, like you have to have a draft, right? Because otherwise, if you're unless you're really
No, I
unless
mean,
you're
you
really
don't have to go to
nationalist,
war. You don't have to go to war.
people will
You can
invade
just
you
not
if
start
you
a
don't
war.
have a wait. So you have the no
Will
draft.
they? Who's invading the U.S., bro?
I
Who?
don't know. Like say China wanted to. Say Russia did. Is it out
Dude,
of the
if China
question?
tried invading, if China would never dare to invade the U.S. unless we were in civil war and they knew that they could do it swiftly.
What if they did? What if like
ridiculous
tomorrow
to assume
like
that China?
what if tomorrow they're hearing
What if they
okay
did?
well the draft is done, we need to have an invasion, like how would you solve that?
How
Like
would you if there was a Chinese invasion tomorrow and
yes,
there needed to be a draft?
yes.
How many active troops do we have right now? Would there even need to be a draft?
Less than China does, probably. I mean, China has a higher population. They would have a draft, so they'd be able to outnumber us. I don't know. Listen, this is all semantic.
We're on
But I think
American
we
soil.
have to have a
It is all
draft.
semantics. I don't.
Yeah. Moving on, by the way, I think the bodily
I don't
autonomy is
believe in
actually
drafts,
not
so
really a
it's
protection of the U.S. government. Never has been. We don't let people do drugs. We don't let people
it's
cut
not.
themselves.
It's not about the politics of it. It's not about the politics of it. It's about the morality of it. And I feel like as someone that is Christian, you should be able to understand that it's about the principle of a government being able to tell you what to do with your own body and your own child. I mean, that's actually
A government telling
that's
you not to
really
kill your
none of-
child.
Well, we have different opinions on that, and like I said, I'm not educated enough on the science to really even confidently go into a debate about abortion. But from a morality standpoint, I just don't think it's okay personally for the laws to be put in place.
Right, so you're
It's just
anti-war, right?
it's not. I'm anti-war, yes.
Okay. Do you believe that we should have fought Nazi Germany in World War II?
I don't think we actually needed to. I think the Russians had that covered. I think the only reason why we got in the war is because there was clear financial benefits and incentives after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. Obviously, with what the Japanese were doing in China at the time, I do think there was definitely more justification for America to kind of step in and be like, "Yo, let's figure this out." But that's also not necessarily going over and starting a war, right? That's intervening in a situation that could have led to the collapse of all of Europe, and so I'm not the type of person that even thinks we should be going and intervening in all kinds of bullshit like in the Middle East and stuff like that. Call me America first, but I just don't think that's where our tax dollars should be going. But generally, yeah, I'm anti-war, anti-imperialist. I don't think that we should be invading other countries or causing harm unless it's genuinely a very specific situation like World War II. I think there's a lot of things that go into that. But generally, yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, we didn't need to, but it was good that we did.
So anti-war, except for sometimes. Gotcha. Rah. But
That's not what I said.
yeah,
That's not. I mean,
well,
that's
you just
that-
said
that's just
sometimes
completely
though. Sometimes you're cool with it though, right? I mean,
misrepresenting my point. No, I can clarify. I said war is bad. Period.
Yes.
End all be all. There are situations where there is nuance. World War II, the Nazis. Yeah, that was probably good that American troops got over there and just added more boots to the ground to take down this terrible regime. Does that mean that I think war is okay? No. So many Americans died. I think it was like what 20 million Russians died. Some insane amount of number, or some insane number of Russian soldiers died alone. I don't have the exact metric right now. It's unnecessary death. And I don't believe in it. It's a personal belief. I don't think that we should be going to fucking war and sending our sons with guns to fight wars for billionaires that can't just figure their shit out. It's kind of insane.
I'm generally anti-war. I think that a lot of wars need to be avoided, but I also respect that we need a draft. We need some level of the ability to protect our sovereignty and the sovereignty of our allies. So that's where, I agree in principle.
Yeah, and
war is bad,
I
but-
agree. I agree on that. I agree on that principle. Can I explore? Can I ask? Why
Sure.
do you believe in a draft?
I believe in a draft because I believe there are times where a country needs to be able to defend itself. And I believe that without a draft, the vast majority of people that we need to fight in a war would not be willing to go out and fight in a war. So I see it as a
You
necessity
don't
for
think
that
the
reason.
military is enough for that?
No, I don't. I think that our military population in big wars has never been sufficient, and I don't think it would be today.
Do we need to be sending soldiers into war? I mean, you also got to think like we're in a
Sometimes
different-
we do.
Sure. I mean, we're in a different like fucking Ukraine and Russia are fighting with fucking drone strikes and shit like that. Like,
Exactly,
do we even
yeah.
need to be sending people in? Like, is this like would feasibly by the time another World War II size war starts and there would need to be something like a draft? Do you even think we would be at a point technologically that we would need to draft people?
Depends on when it would happen. I mean, if it happened in 100 years, maybe not. But like today, I think it would. I think we definitely need it. Whenever that happens, though, I probably would change my mind.
Regardless,
I don't
Yeah,
support
regardless,
random
I'm
expenditure. I guess we agree on
it's
this.
not
Okay.
support.
But yeah, so anti-war. Okay. I mean, we're reaching about 2 hours. We've gone for a minute. Do you want to keep going? I mean, I'm down to go for as long as you want to, but I feel like we've covered a lot of stuff, so it's your call. Is there anything you want to talk about?
We've covered a lot of stuff. I've grown some interest in the subject. I do think we did come into this. I mean, at least for me, I didn't know what the fuck we were going to be debating. It was kind of just like, let's just do this thing. I'm fine with ending it now. I'm fine with going on. I'm also fine with setting up a debate for in the future if you're going to continue doing what you're doing with actual preparation and a specific topic that we're going to be going against, rather than just fucking throwing things all over the place. Because I don't think it reflects my debate abilities. I don't think it reflects your debate abilities in the best. Where we're just fucking scrammering and going all over the
I
place.
agree.
And
I never like topicless debate. It's a very
yeah.
It's a
hard.
shaky. It's a shaky thing. I'd be happy to debate in the future. I'm starting a show. It's gonna have a little intro section talking about the news, and then afterwards it's gonna go into a debate course on the current event topic. If there's a current event that you see me post about that we disagree on, I'd be happy to have you on.
All right, brother. Well, I think we're just gonna be scammering for the next hour. Oh, voice crack. Hour if I stay on. I don't really think there's much else we really. Generally, I think when it comes to the Trump shit, the Epstein shit, which is my main contention, we're in general agreement on that. Not fully, but I don't think there's much that we disagree with on that. Yeah, I mean, I'm down to do something in the future with an actual topic. I think that would be more worthwhile.
Totally, sounds great. Well, thank you so much. I had a great time having you on. Let me make sure I end the recording here real quick, but I guess it's the end of the stream. This is Keaton. Do you want to put your @ just so people can follow you?
Yeah, it's at Lordnoteak. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys for watching. It was definitely a fun one, Mr.
Gotcha.
Heaberlin.
Take care, man. I'll see you.
Have a good one.